Yo, friends.
Hello there. This is going to be a fun one, isn't it? This
Yep.
is
Have you ever done? You haven't seen. I showed you me and Yez and IRL's Twitter conversation, but that was the extent of it. Your interaction with him up until this video, right?
no.
Really? Oh, nice. You're lucky. I've seen three of his recent ones. I haven't seen any of his older ones, but apparently, like his brand video came out before the finale, and it was nearly one for one accurate. So it's like, no, that's not a theory. You just copy and pasted the links.
Damn.
Delete. I haven't. I don't know this for sure, but I have heard this in comment section, and it's just like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Huh. All right. Copy the video.
And
All
I'll
right.
share it. And I'll share it with in my Discord.
Yeah. I don't have like a robot that does it for me yet because I don't know how we do that.
Um. Uh. Actually, that's a premium Discord thing now, and I accidentally disabled it.
Oh,
So,
lovely.
so, uh, so I'm, so I just do it manually now, and it's not that big of a deal. It's just slightly annoying, and even then, it's just like sometimes like the bot was inconsistent about when it would share stuff, but then again, it's just what it is.
There. No, got anybody here. No, no, that's nothing. It's like show this. I'm like, oh wait, do I have to activate the comment? Oh no, there's no way. This is like a whole new experience for me. Man, I should have gotten the notifications already ready before we started this.
No, you're fine. Uh, but yeah, I don't really like Mr. Yezin IRL either as a content creator or as a person.
Oh,
Uh, just on the basis of he's a disingenuous little weasel, and also he's a postmodernist, clearly a postmodernist. And postmodernism is for insane people and dogs.
insane people and dogs.
Yeah, that's the only people it's useful for.
I
Yeah, it's just postmodernism is fundamentally stupid and flawed and should never have been invented, or when it was, it should have been thoroughly debunked as asinine, pretentious drivel.
there we go. That was too hard. Apparently.
Yeah.
Now let's get to the real shit since we don't got much to talk about yet.
Oh, he does some funny stuff in this one that made me like, wow, you're making a whole lot of false equivalencies even before you get to the Game of Thrones stuff.
And share audio, share.
Oh, okay. You're mute. The thing's muted.
Oh, big disclaimer. The following is not necessarily meant to argue whether or not a season 8 of Game of Thrones was good or bad, but rather to challenge the way we, as an audience, engage with the story. As as an audience, it's a weird. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And reframe our hell no. Reframe our expectations regarding what value we can take from an imperfect work. Oh, it's only an imperfect work.
Imperfect rather than structurally broken and very haphazardly constructed.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't got anything more to say. We can. Oh, hey there.
Greetings. Thank you, Dead Chap.
You're welcome.
Always a
It's
pleasure
red.
to, always a pleasure to see you, my dear friend.
I'm not your friend. I'm your worst nightmare.
Oh no, racist.
That's just your opinion, Mr. Valerian.
You know what's coming next, right?
Oh,
Die horribly.
That's also just your opinion. I cannot die.
Not an opinion, it's a
Dying,
command.
Valerian.
I,
Dying is
I
subjective.
dying
can
is
just-
for 8th grade book reports.
I can just kind of forget and be alive again. So hello, space junk.
Let's see. Anyone else?
Nihilist is a false consciousness.
Figures.
Right? Yeah.
Let's see. Can we get some more people in here?
I'm not as popular as Dunn.
Well, Dunn, you only just started too. Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Let's
I
see.
have the video linked in the announcement board.
Oh yeah, you're the White Dragon because there's also a chap called White Dragon, but he's
I
like,
know, I saw that. I'm like, where do you find this?
well, I just searched on YouTube and that's what came up. But he was like 7 years ago, and he has like 1 subscriber.
I'm like, I bet if I go on his Discord, they're gonna get all confused.
Yeah,
Like, what the hell is this guy? He's not our host.
the White Dragon.
Do you have a comment on this on this little bit right here, Valerian?
Well, it's meant to argue whether it was good or bad, but rather to challenge the way as we, as an audience, engaged with the story and reframe our expectations regarding what value we can take from imperfect work. Well, okay. So it's all subjective, I guess. We're back to subjective, I guess.
Yep, because that's how we defend this kind of stuff, like, and like
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah, the thing is, this guy thinks that all narrative is subjective.
I mean, he has to think that, or else he can't defend this stuff.
Yeah, he also
It's the
thinks
same
something
thing.
like
It's the
he
same
also,
thing with the TLJ crowd.
he also thinks that what is it? That the inciting incident is subjective.
Is this chap Yezin IRL?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I remember him from a different video, and I remember that he is actually too intelligent to interpret this show correctly. That's the problem. What he was saying was far too intelligent.
Yeah, he's running on some like 400 IQ plane of existence. We're just down here like 20 IQ plebs over here.
Well, mainly it's just that the show is actually quite stupid.
Ah.
I do think it sounds smart.
We have
Yeah.
Another guest.
Oh, good.
Hey,
Hello.
what unholy? It's not unholy horror compared to it's nothing compared to Maggie. This is just
Oh no, it's not. Holy shit.
Oh, hello, Lost Street chap.
Yay.
Hello.
But still equal as mind-bendingly irritating. Especially after what we know now. It's
yeah.
like, oh, poor Eisen. If he only knew.
I don't think that
Hasn't.
he's well. The thing is, I brought up to him that like there were like injustices and like like legit bad things that happened. He just waved it off because he's trying to defend his sacred cow that he's died on the hill for.
It's a very odd hill to die on.
I mean, I remember when I was an ignorant pleb, I used to try to defend what was
Well,
the Sansa rape because I didn't know anything about the books or anything ever.
and so for reference, this is the guy who like who went on EFEP and debated with Mahler, Rags, and
Nerdrotic.
and Nerdrotic. Even though I don't think Nerdrotic is a very good debater. I don't. At least I don't think so. Most of his arguments are not from like any kind of authority. It's mostly just like I feel this, or like going for ad populum arguments.
Yeah,
But
he was hardly there, wasn't he?
yeah, and even like I think Rags made better points than Nerdrotic, and Rags has never seen the show in its
Would-
entirety.
Which is kind of strange, considering that Nerdrotic, like he said, he watched the show and he read the books multiple times.
Well, it's mainly like he just said like a lot of stuff like a lot of people didn't buy it, which is just like, oh, that's not a good argument, Nerdrotic. I'm sorry, Gary. That's a very bad argument to make.
Well, I don't think Gary is that good of a content creator in general.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
Space Junk, are you talking about the not so great debate guy? Or is it
Honestly,
majorly?
honestly, the not so great debate guy is less disingenuous than Yezin, and is a better arguer than Yezin,
Oh,
which is kind of pathetic.
Should we start then and get
Yes.
to Yesen?
Yes, let's get to him. Yeah.
yeah.
God help us. Am I the only one, by the way, briefly,
Huh?
who is a little dead inside after that last chapter we read of the
Oh.
Dragon book?
Oh.
No,
we're getting
you are
to-
not. You're
and then
not
we're
the
just-
only one.
And then it's
No.
going to be. I skimmed the next one, and apparently it's going to be the shotgun of just all of the characters' endings.
No.
It's like a shotgun in one chapter, and then the last one is the fan backlash chapter.
Ah, we have
Hello there.
Great Scott says, "Oh boy, Game of Thrones, the show that I've repressed in my memories."
If only I could do that. But no, I have to be
Yeah.
a person who talks out loud against this stupid show.
Anyway, should we maybe start?
Yeah, we should probably. Yeah, we should keep going. Yeah, we should get started.
It's a bit long.
You can forgive all of them. Make them see they made a mistake. Make them understand.
I can't.
Okay, so I'm back. And we have to talk about toxic fandom.
Oh,
See,
Okay. Yeah, I remember this part from when EFAP reacted to it. Like, oh my god, here we go.
Oh, and
Oh.
his thing is just like his idea of toxic fandom, as he said on the EFAP debate, was that when like the audience start calling like the writers stupid and like chase people out of fandoms and
oh,
a bunch of and
That's-
just concluding bad without like further speculation or saying that they know the story better than the writers, which is just like kind of yeah, because the writers don't think in terms of characters and arcs.
Don't face it.
isn't-
Don't
this
insult
isn't
it. Don't insult James Cameron's Avatar.
Like James Cameron's Avatar isn't bad. It's just blandly competent.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna make up so many bad references. This is gonna be hilarious.
Oh god.
season 8 ended. The internet's been flooded with countless takes on the ending of Game of Thrones.
Oh,
From
okay.
fans insisting they know the story better than the writer.
Well, that's because they do.
Shut up!
Yeah, that's because they do, yeah. Because the writers don't know the story.
What are these writers you people are talking about?
I didn't see any writers Oh, that's actually a very good point in terms of how it dropped out of the public consciousness. That's actually a good point, Dollface.
Oh.
That is actually a very good point.
Oh, okay, yeah, then that, yeah. I thought you were talking
I mean,
about, like...
After the reactions to season 8, is like nobody in the mainstream talked about it up until like the 10-year anniversary.
And
Yeah.
then
Except for like us and macabre storytelling.
Basically nerds.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
no.
Preston Jacobs and who else? Green Hand. Well,
Robin.
actually, no.
I mean,
Green Hand's-
Preston only talks about the books for the most part.
Yeah, mostly.
Rawest.
Rawest. Yeah, Rawest. Gray area, but some of these people are mainly talking about the new show, the House of the Dragon show. They're not so much talking about the show itself.
I know LML referenced them in terms of, like, they didn't quite understand how the fact that Azor Ahai is not the good guy.
It's like the thing is, when you start, I don't think the writers at any point actually analyzed their own show or their own writing.
No,
Analyst.
yeah, they didn't. It's like they've said on multiple occasions that all they did was just, we watched all of the episodes of the show in preparation for this.
Yeah.
All the fans don't know. The fans think they know the show better than the writers. Yeah, kind of.
That's because they do.
It's not
because they
hard.
actually pay attention.
Also,
yeah, it's not hard.
Also, I refute the statement that they are writers. They are not writers. They're a pair of frat boys who are drugged up on alcohol all the time and just write stuff out of their butts.
Yeah, and they're coffee boys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, I wish that weren't a joke.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Smuggling
Let's keep
explosives into
going.
Morocco.
Let's keep going, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Creators to a petition demanding reshoots. It's clear that React.
If you're at the reshoot, you would have to start earlier than season 8.
Well, they're not asking for reshoots. They're asking for a remake. I think this petition is kind of misguided because you can't
They
fix
will
the
not
show
do a
by
remake.
just remaking season 8.
Yeah, there are, like, you could get something like the Austin Film Fest. No, not Austin Film. It's the Boston University. Yeah, the Boston University is the best possible ending that you could have gotten to see with season 8. At least I think so. Due to the fact that it is going off of season 7, but it is the best. It's the best possible product that season 8 could have been, and it was written by a bunch of college students.
Yeah.
Who clearly
I
had
need
more
to actually listen to that.
We need to
Yeah.
watch that sometime, yeah.
Yeah,
Or listen to watch.
I would love to do that and kind of say, like, this is amazing. Like, this I would love to watch that one, as, like, since, like, it's 6 episodes, we can do it live, we can just give live commentary and just say, hey, this
Makes sense.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, this has, like, clear passion and understanding of writing and the technicals of screenwriting, which is a low bar.
Yeah. Whoops. Okay, now I'm subscribed. There we are. Oops.
Oh,
Anyway, let's go.
no.
Yeah.
Actions are mixed. And while criticism is important, I think that if we want to be critical of media, we should also be critical of our own opinions.
Oh.
So, in light of some of the
Why?
extreme reactions we've been seeing,
The worst finale episode in the history of television.
I'm going to say we
Jeremy.
Well, he's
Yeah.
not wrong. I don't believe you.
I don't even like Geeks and Gamers or Jeremy. I don't think, yeah, he's kind of right.
He kind of is. That finale was 57 minutes of silence.
How did
It's
you?
like,
How
have
was there?
any of you guys seen How I Met Your Mother?
I have seen a few episodes here and there, but I am aware of how it ended, where basically it ended,
Yeah, the
final
last
episode
2 minutes. Well,
is
the
a
entire
big
final
screw
episode,
you,
but
isn't it?
well, the entire final episode, but in particular the last 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes, basically made the rest of the show pointless.
Yeah, where it's just she died.
Yeah, the mother dies, and then the dad gets back with
Colby Mulders.
Yeah, who he broke up with, or they broke up quite a bit earlier. And also, one of the main supporting characters gets his arc completely negated.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
It's a sitcom. It's a sitcom show called about
How
this
I Met
dude.
Your Mother.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's
that
basically
ending,
an
the
8
final
series.
episode and that ending was so hated that they actually made an alternate cut that fixes a lot of it, apparently.
You know, have you ever seen a bigger collapse of a show? Like, can we go back a sec?
The worst finale episode in the history of television.
I'm gonna say we need to take a step back as a culture.
No.
Uh-huh.
Take a step back as a culture. What does he mean by that?
Let's let him say what he means.
Let's go back a bit because I wanted to comment on this.
Critical of media, we should also be critical of our own opinions. So, in light of some of the extreme reactions we've been seeing,
This he calls this extreme. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious? This was the biggest collapse in television history.
Yeah,
it was the biggest show. Like, everybody was talking about this show. Even fucking Russian grandmothers knew. I think someone said that once.
Yeah,
even Muller's dentist knew about it.
I think that in terms of there are probably feasibly worse. I don't know where they would be though, especially considering this started out pretty good. This started as a really good show that was critically acclaimed. I don't know about the actors. The actors are fine. I would throw tomatoes at the writers.
Mostly David
Benioff.
Mostly David Benioff.
Yeah,
the actors suffered. The actors have suffered enough at these complete jackasses.
If you do not know, they have. Oh my, they have went through fucking hell and back, especially the long night.
You leave the actors alone.
Yeah,
it's like the Finn Golfin versus Feanor situation.
Yeah.
Amelia Clark almost died on set. The Hound actor almost got decapitated. People fell through the fucking a wooden ship.
I wonder if Yesin is gonna say anything to even hint at any of these problems.
People were coughing up fish oil at one point. Holy shit.
Anyway, let's just keep going.
Okay, but let me mention 2 words first before we get going again.
Yeah.
Hodor is back.
Yeah,
Christian Nairn's back.
And possibly David Nutter. We don't know, but we do know that they got in a car accident in the middle of location scouting in the middle of a whiteout. Why would you do that?
Anyway, let's keep going.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck me. Goddamn. Oh, I had my coffee and I spilled it on my table.
Oh, dear. That sucks.
No, not my huge mouse pad. God damn it.
Yeah, don't ruin your computer.
No, my computer's far away. It's I have a giant mouse pad. It covers my whole mouse and keyboard.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, I guess that's another thing on the. All right, let's get done with this shit show.
The worst finale episode in the history of television.
I'm gonna say we need to take a step back as a culture and take a look at ourselves.
So this kind of reaction isn't really exclusive to Game of Thrones. Fandoms actually have a history of toxic backlash when things.
Okay, can we pause?
It wasn't lit.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this, but take a step back as a culture and take a look at ourselves.
Oh yeah, I got this.
It's like,
Yeah,
what exactly was so horrible about this reaction?
Yeah.
So I would say that the reaction to fucking the cost sunk fallacy is a bad part of our culture. Oh shit!
I mean,
Yeah.
I would say that
people
this
just
whole.
keep. Just
I would
kept
say that the whole
believing.
Hollywood. I would say that the whole Hollywood norm that you're not allowed to criticize each other or get blacklisted is kind of a problem, and a much bigger one than any reaction to this show or
Unless
this
you're,
movie.
unless
Blind
you're,
faith in a
un-
TV
unless
show is one
you're,
of them.
unless you're Seth Rogen, and then you just have, and then it's just like you just went like, nah, I'm gonna take pot shots and I'm gonna make everyone count. I'm pretty sure they were making Bran the King because he doesn't have the best story.
I mean, do any of you guys know who Daniel Green is?
Yes.
No.
He made a video recently.
Oh,
How
I
season
saw that,
8 was written. It's hilarious.
It is really funny, yes. I just watched that last night. It was amazing.
I don't want it.
Are you McQueen? You see, this is great writing.
We should let Valerian talk, sorry.
Thank you. Did people harass Carice von Houten? Is that something?
No, not
I
as far as I
thought I
know.
remembered something about that in an interview that people were.
I remember that she came out defending the show at one point, even though she said that it was rushed.
Yeah, she accused people of being entitled.
Oh.
Because of the backlash.
Yeah, okay, maybe it wasn't that they harassed her. Maybe it wasn't. It was a long time. I kind of forgot.
Since this is kind of one of the... Since that's kind of the thing is that sometimes with this, actors sometimes do get harassed. This was a rare exception, though, where they said, like, no, we do... I think part of it is just the long time with these actors. That the audience had come to love them to the point where it's just like, no, like, we love you. It's all the writer's fault. And it was.
Yeah.
And
I always hate it when the people's like, yeah, that happens all the time, and it's really shitty, but that's not the fandom as a whole. That's like some really shitty people far in the corner over there.
Who would be crappy people regardless of what fandom they were in.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we finished this point. So.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we go on our own pace. We don't. There's no time limit.
Yeah.
Long ago, that pretty much every YouTube video was an angry rant about how Rian Johnson ruined Star Wars.
I mean, wasn't he kind of malicious?
Yeah, he was.
He's also a bit of a jackass on Twitter.
Yes, he was.
Like, do we have to pull up
remember
the
your
tweet?
Snoke theory sucks?
Yeah, or when he decided to make a tiny Ben Shapiro lookalike that apparently was based on that was an alt-right troll that he said was analogous
in Knives
to
Out.
Star Wars, where he's honestly like not even like that bad of a character. He just calls somebody an SJW snowflake.
Oh, I forgot about this one. Look at this. Yes.
No, it did. Like nobody's
pretty
gonna try
much
and change
did,
your
yeah.
mind. I think that was the point where David Benioff and D.B. Weiss lost their mind.
That was after season 4, so that's like when George left, and that's when they started making up their own shit.
Oh
yeah,
Ryan.
Great
Oh,
Scott
yeah.
is finding out Ryan also made like
yeah.
a joke about the
yeah.
Night King. Oh, it was great Night King series. Blah, blah, blah.
What a freaking prick.
Yeah. And I know like Daisy Ridley said like it was cool to see Maisie Williams do her move from TLJ on the Night King when she was reacting to, which is just like Daisy, you're already in 3 bad movies. You don't want to reference something that's worse than your movies.
Which is quite an accomplishment, if I may add.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Game of Thrones Season 8 is worse than any Star Wars movie,
Oh.
including The Rise of Skywalker.
Done.
Yeah.
You remember that video I sent you? The one.
Oh, the one where he said like it's about like that was ruined by by a feminist agenda or
Yeah.
progressive agenda. I watched it and it's just like that's the only flaw in that video, but mostly because like I think like we're just so primed to see like bad progressive politics that are shoved in that he thinks because there are the talking points are there, but Benioff and Weiss are really cynical about how they do things. They are so cynical. They don't care.
Yes.
It's relevant because this guy brought it up before us.
Believe it or not, there can be people who do bad things who are not your political enemies or perceived political enemies. So
I like how
everything doesn't have to be a bit of a big screaming partisan divides and stuff.
I would agree with that, definitely.
I like how I walk into a Game of Thrones stream and you're talking about Star Wars. Yeah, it tends to happen because they're pretty similar as in disaster rate. That's just,
Yeah. Yeah. We should keep going. He comes up with so many.
Recently,
like, it gets worse.
Oh no, not this!
Wait, I remember this.
I'd never even watched this before, and I don't wanna.
Rewind a
Let's
little
keep
bit.
going. Go on.
Yeah.
When things don't go their way. It wasn't long ago that pretty much every YouTube video was an angry rant about how Rian Johnson ruined Star Wars. More recently, we've seen some really extreme reactions to the trailers for the new Cats and the live-action Sonic the Hedgehog.
Ugly, because they're both ugly as fuck. Oh my god, that face!
What absolutely terrible examples to bring up.
The fucking
Yeah,
freeze frame I
like,
just paused on.
What like giant Cats fandom was toxically reacting to the Cats trailer? It was more just general audiences said no.
Literally everyone took a look at these two trailers and was like, no, this looks awful. This looks ugly and horrifying.
Yeah, and I think like I asked Yezid in the comments of this video, it might even still be there. I asked, well, why are you what is up with the Cats thing? Like, why are you saying that sucks? It's just like he compared it to Ocarina, some like Zelda game, and that a lot of people were toxically like saying no, it sucks, and then it became one of the most beloved Zelda games. And it's just like that is a giant false equivalence. What is wrong with you?
Oh, I think it's like the Wind Waker, because that one got a fair amount of blowback over its visual style.
Oh,
it's like not even remotely like, the same thing.
Yeah, it's not even remotely the same thing. It was just like this person doesn't know how to argue or come to any conclusion. It's so weird. It's just, why is he bringing up? It wasn't the Sonic fandom. Like, just random no schmo people were saying this looks disgusting.
I mean, this guy is
remember the original Sonic design with the human teeth and the lips and the hideous proportions. Should we have gotten that?
No, you know what?
I haven't even seen the movie, and I'm like,
the design upgrade was much better. The design upgrade is so much more visually appealing. This thing just like it just looks so gross.
It does look really gross.
Too. I'm actually.
By the way, poor Cyclops.
Yeah, why is James Marsden just continually in bad movies? Jeez. And
it's not even a problem with him. Like, he just keeps getting bad shit.
Yeah, he just I don't know what is wrong.
Even in the X-Men movies, he gets sold so short.
Yeah, I guess I guess just he needs to fire his agent because his agent clearly sucks because he keeps putting him in bad movies like Hop, the Santa Claus Easter Bunny movie with what's his face.
Let's not get too far off topic.
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah,
go
let's-
down this path.
Yeah, let's
a
keep
couple
going.
of quick things. Please like Please like the
Yes,
video, and Becca is in the chat. Brightness Becca is in the chat.
Yeah. I mean, being such a tiny channel, I literally have to get stuff done just to get anybody to show up.
Yeah, and I'm not that big either. I have to figure out ways to network with other people. Like I've been with Smud for a long time, and I'm still only at 300, and he's at 20K.
Yeah.
Try Moeller.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he's still working on his episode 6 Unbridled Rage, so you can probably send him some good screenshots.
Yeah, last time I got into a VC call with him, I asked him. He's still making it. Last time I heard.
Yeah, I know. Like the Snyder Cut, like infuriated him like a lot, and that video was great, tearing it apart.
Yeah,
everything is subjective, by the way.
That's just your opinion.
Damn, you ruined me. I should just quit and leave now.
Anyway,
you like ruined
way back.
Grandma.
Oh my god, no. Okay, let's
In
get faster.
1982, it was leaked that Spock would die in The Wrath of Khan. Trekkies blamed Leonard Nimoy and even sent him death threats.
This is not comparable. These are leaks compared to finished product. What are you talking about?
Also, the distinct problem with this is that all we're saying is that these men are not credible writers and created a really bad ending.
And by the way, by the way, this is not even like compare because like he's comparing like a leak for Spock dying compared to like what you saw in the trailers, just ugly ass fucking Sonic the Hedgehog and furry movie number 276.
the fall down the Uncanny Valley nightmare fuel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cats was bizarre. Cats, like just the trailer, like the reactions to that, I was just like, ugh, when I first watched it.
It was gross and disgusting and weird.
Oh,
why? Gross and disgusting and weird. And why is? Yeah, it just. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
I'm tired of this already. I want to watch. I want to go rewatch Ninjago.
Oh man.
Please don't.
Pretty sure you can find like all the episodes up to season 5 on YouTube on the official Lego channel.
You could also.
I would like 3 bullets.
You could also watch. Huntic or Chaotic. Be better. That is a better ending than Game of Thrones, which is kind of sad that a kid's cartoon about a card game in which kids have their brains teleported to a cyberspace where they turn into creatures ends better than frickin' Game of Thrones.
What are you referring to?
Chaotic?
I never heard of that.
It's a TV show based on a Danish card game.
Huh.
The whole series is on YouTube. So
let's get back to the topic at hand.
Yes.
Just last year, The Last Jedi's Kelly Marie Tran was bullied off social media because.
No, last time
can I say something about this?
That's
Can I say something about this?
Go ahead.
Kelly Marie Tran actually gave a statement where she blamed 3 things: Hollywood, the media, and the companies that support them. Not a single fan was ever mentioned.
Can you find that? We can show that on screen a little later once you find it.
Yeah, I probably can.
Yeah, like it's been like it's kind of like the media spun it like she was chased off of Twitter by rabid, crazy fanboys. But that's not the case.
This is
Never
this is
said
all
that.
framing right here. This is like
Yeah.
you sit in the stage like, oh, look at the fandom. Look at what they have done. You can't trust these people. Look what they've done to Star Wars.
And maybe there were people who didn't like Kelly Marie Tran, kind of like how like people didn't like what happened with Ahmed Best. But
there are really shitty people everywhere, though.
yeah,
I mean,
there are. Well, people in general are crappy people. Like just
There
like,
are literally Thanos is more reasonable than many people alive today.
Which is kind of sickening.
Yeah, it is.
And it's kind of just like the main problem is just the fact that they want to try and spin a narrative, and even like Kelly Marie Tran and John Boyega have come out criticizing the treatment of their characters in the sequel trilogy, especially TLJ.
yeah. All right, let's carry on with this. So this is going to be like a 2-part stream.
Fanboys didn't
Right.
like the character of Rose.
Now, look, I know we all have a right to our opinion, and I realize negative opinions are not the same as bullying.
Okay.
But I do have to ask, how much of this is constructive? Do people understand?
Who cares?
I would agree. Who cares? Because there's nothing to construct out of that ending.
Aside from Game of Thrones rewrite over on Macabre Storytelling.
Besides just shitting on something just because it's kind of fun sometimes, like some of these videos like you see.
And also because shitting on them can give a little bit of a frame of reference as to what should be done when writing a story.
It's like not everything has to be like you can't you can just shit on things because it's terrible. Like I don't see what's wrong with that.
Yeah, and also just it is helpful because the backlash to this means that we will not get something. Hopefully, we will not get something as bad as this in the future.
Hey, that's just mean.
Yeah, he looks like us. Yeah, he looks like a slightly more
JJ.
I was thinking a botched clone of JJ, but that works too.
He's a freaking god of a human.
Yes, he is pretty cool.
He is pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, Macabre Storytelling did a really good job of like trying to like. Oh, what?
Who was the guy he made a Game of Thrones video? I can't remember. Like he does like every episode.
DVD.
Not him, but him too. It was like, but then they forgot about the plot, and then
Preston Jacobs.
And Danny kind of no. I think he went on EFAP one time. He made like a bunch of Game of Thrones videos for season 7 and 8. It was like per episode. He was just taking the piss on it.
Oh, Glidus.
Yeah, that's the guy.
He wasn't on EFAP, but he was on Anomaly Inc.
Yeah, I think that was like the video before we got on.
Yep. Shall we keep going?
Yep. Okay, we're just going on
Understand the thing they're criticizing.
Okay, I didn't catch that.
Understand.
But I do have to ask, how much of this is constructive? Do people understand the thing they're criticizing?
Better than you.
And
yeah.
Are we maybe overreacting?
No.
Part one.
No.
What if we're overreacting?
No. Okay, no.
It's
flat no. We are not overreacting. And honestly, the reaction to it should have been worse. And because they just, oh my god.
Yeah, by the way, Glidus has been on EFAP 3 times.
What?
He was on EFAP 100, he was on EFAP Gaming number 8, and he was on EFAP Gaming number 11.
Wow, I didn't know that. I haven't watched any of those Okay. Wow. Okay. I stand corrected. I feel I haven't seen those. I didn't know he was on there. Dang.
Get wrecked.
Indeed. I have been wrecked. I accept my punishment, oh Dragon Daddy.
Prepare for the penetration. No, nothing.
Oh, you haven't seen Maggie Mae Fish's daddy's video.
Oh
No, 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 no.
I have seen at least one of them, and man,
Topic.
Yeah,
This
but
is the topic of
but yeah,
today.
it's also the problem is what he's saying is, are you trying to understand what you're talking about? Yes, we do understand. We do understand this because we have looked at these men's commentaries. Their commentaries basically say, we don't care about themes, we don't care about the plot. We think that we don't care about these characters. We mostly care about these characters, the actors' faces, and showing them off because we think that they can convey paragraphs and paragraphs of subtext just through micro expressions.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something he's gonna say towards the end of the video that you guys are gonna have a field day with.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah.
Sizing. And are we maybe overreacting?
No.
No.
Part 1. What if we're overreacting?
Let's see.
It's hard to talk about fandoms without generalizing people.
Oh, okay.
Because everyone responds to a story in their own way. Some people loved the ending, some hated it, some hated the ideas, and others hated the way they were executed. Obviously, not everything I say can apply to every single person. So in order to be objective, I'm going to be a nerd and start with some graphs. Looking at the
oh, wait, fuck.
To be objective, I'm going to be a nerd and start with
The downfall of Game of Thrones ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, 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 blah. Season 5.
Yeah, that plummeted hard with the Dorne plot and the Sansa rape.
Yep.
And really, I think it should have stayed much more in that area from then on.
Yeah.
Oh, not even the White Hunt. That's depressing.
The White Hunt. I think that should be at like 30 rather than 60. Anyway, let's keep going.
That was like the worst for me. That broke my bushy-tailedness for me.
Yeah, by the way, the last 2 episodes of season 6 are really high up, which is really dumb.
Battle of the Bastards looks like it is at somewhere around a 98-ish.
Where's the Battle of the Bastards?
It's really high. It's at least like a 90. It's around like a 98, it looks like. And,
yeah.
And
it has, I think it has like a 9.9 rating on IMDb.
Which is far more than it ever deserved.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Stannis arc was bad.
Let's see, the drop in season 3, that's around episode 6. What happens in episode 6? Or episode 5 and 6?
I just know what happens in episode 6. I can't remember exactly like the mechanics of the plot.
Was the Red Wedding in season 3 or season 4?
That was in season 3, episode 9.
But the
he
second
stops at
Oh, that's
4.
interesting. That's interesting that episodes that in season 3, episodes 9 and 10 are both at 100.
Has it been noted yet that the HBO subscriber base dropped precipitously after Game of Thrones?
No, he's not gonna bring that up.
Oh. We'll bring it up. I just brought it up though, so here we are.
Yeah.
I never
Wait a
actually
second. Wait a second. I think season 3, episode 5 might be where the accidental rape scene happens.
No, that's season 4.
Oh, is it? Sure, whatever.
Yeah, that's season 4. Yeah, it's easy to get confused because they're the same. They're both the same book. They're both Storm of Swords, so I get confused.
Yeah, for whatever reason, season 4 has the least bad, has the highest average ratings.
For some reason.
Yeah, even though there's a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah, by the way, season 3, episode 5, that's where Jaime talks about his reasoning for killing the Mad King.
Oh, interesting.
It's a little and that's also where we have Beric versus the Hound. and Beric being
Huh.
resurrected.
Huh.
Yeah,
Huh.
doesn't sound like
I
it was.
don't. What exactly are people complaining about in that case?
Yeah, I mean that doesn't sound very bad.
All right, I
Hmm.
guess we are. I think we dwelled on
Yep.
this for too long.
Yeah,
with
we
some
need to keep going.
graphs.
Okay.
Looking at the data, there seems
Average episode Game of Thrones.
The Last of the Starks was really bad. That
Oh,
is.
that
Oh God.
that
What happened
episode
to this?
destroyed any hope of a somewhat satisfying ending.
Yeah, holy shit. That
Also,
episode
like-
is terrible.
Also, like, we got the infamous meme. Well, Danny kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet and Euron's forces, but they certainly haven't forgotten about her.
Kind of forgot. Yeah, well, one does, One gets distracted in warfare. I kind of forgot my enemy,
I was just
Yeah.
talking about him during the battle plans, but I kind of forgot.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
forgot about the Germans during World War II. No offense,
Yeah.
Germans.
Yeah, it was almost good, but it was just apparently armor doesn't work.
Apparently, armor doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like the every character armor doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was so controversial about season 3, episode 6 either. I mean, that's where we see Theon getting tortured.
Maybe that was it then. Yeah, yeah. I
Maybe that
kind
was
of,
like-
yeah.
Wasn't that the one where, like, maybe that was the one where he was unified?
No.
Yeah, I think that's that's the first time where we actually find out who Ramsay is. Because he plays he plays like a little game with Theon. Who do you think I am?
Okay.
All right.
And so he like flays off Theon's finger.
Oh yeah, that
seems
one.
to be a distinct
Whoa! What the fuck?
sense from the critical community that Game of Thrones fell apart in the last.
That's
It fell
impressive. How did it long and like get 73%?
Yeah, I was wondering what happened to the volume. It just suddenly loop. Okay, so what was he saying just now? Because he was in the middle of a sentence. He
I
hasn't.
was focused on the text rather than what he was saying.
Basically, he said that like the common
Stinkard
consensus,
and
the common consensus seems to be that it fell apart in the last 3 episodes. And it's just like, no.
No.
No, that was a long time coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
season 5, I would say, was where it started, and then it went glue in season 8.
I agree more with Mahler that it just really started with season 4, episode 10.
Yes. With cutting out the Tystra reveal, it really derails Tyrion's arc.
Anyway,
Because-
let's
apply
go.
to every single person. So, in order to be objective, I'm going to be a nerd and start with some graphs.
Okay.
Looking at the data, there seems to be a distinct sense from the critical community that Game of Thrones fell apart in the last 3 or 4 episodes.
No.
Before that, the show was mostly a critical hit. But
If you don't think about anything like I used to do until season 7.
Yeah,
Thinking is
just
for
like
8th grade.
me, yeah.
Yep,
drop
thinking
in
is
score.
Thinking is for 8th grade book reports.
Yeah.
Actually fair. For me, the show had been struggling for years to depict organic character development and realistic politics. And to be
Yes.
Yeah,
frank,
that's correct.
the books Game of
That's
Thrones
correct.
is based on are way too dense and expansive to be accurately adapted to.
No.
So what? But even if they were, so what?
Well, he's
It's
wrong.
not like they couldn't, because they skipped over 2 books with a contrived, gratuitous fanfic plot condensed into a single season.
That's just your opinion. So moving along.
That's racist.
Oh my god.
Television. The problems so many had with the ending are problems I've been seeing for a while now. And so I'd come to look at the show as kind of a preview for the books. While I understand
No.
God,
You
No.
probably shouldn't do that.
Nah, you probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, like it. there are so many elements missing. Like I honestly think that like it's either John Connington or Aegon or Danny in
Phaegon.
response to Phaegon. It's not like it has to be.
Daenerys doesn't become a cartoon at the very end.
That's
Yeah,
not even in the even in the show. That was like last minute.
it was last minute.
It was
Yeah.
after last minute because they changed it in the editing room to have her be the cartoon villain.
Yeah, it was like post last minute. It was like, God help us now. And we know that, so hey, shut up. Not you.
I don't know who you guys can relate to this because I don't really watch that.
Oh
much
yeah.
anime.
There are so many manga and anime who had shit.
Yeah. All right, but fuck. I'm with the fucking.
And people's frustration with certain sloppily handled twists. I'm also kind of just over.
Yes, there are
plot holes. I get it. That's it.
And yet you defend Danny.
Andy defends Jamie.
Let's get to the
Brit
arguments.
and prefer to focus more on the core ideas. Like, what does
There
the
are no
ending
core
say
ideas.
about moral certitude?
What does the ending say about morals? Fuck morals.
Nothing. It says nothing.
Let me White, I need to share my screen.
I'll post it as soon as you put it on there.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Moral certitude and the glorification of war. This is what the show has to say about it.
Fuck no, bitch.
Done. You audio.
Yeah, your audio is not there.
You dunce.
Okay.
Dun the duns. Morals are for 8th grade book reports.
Audio is for 8th grade book reports.
Kind of.
You should call your channel The Done Thing.
War.
All right, rewind it again.
Killing soldiers.
Rewind a little.
At first, I think that John is also in a kind of denial. At first, the siege
You
is a
think?
war. Soldiers killing
You should
soldiers.
know this.
That's
And also, like he said, he calls what happens at King's Landing a siege. That's not a siege.
By the
that's
way,
an
Space
assault.
Junk, invite Mueller. Nah, we can't do that.
How the hell would we do that? We're like nobodies. How the hell would we get him on here?
Also, he's already reacted to this video once. He doesn't need to
Yeah.
do it again.
He debated this guy and destroyed him royally.
All right. Oh, what? You're the one who's playing the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what war is. I think John
And he just says, and he calls it
soldiers.
a siege. Why does he call it a siege? That's a basic
a massacre. This is not a siege, you absolute idiots. It's over.
Yeah.
Okay,
Killing
keep going,
soldiers.
Don.
That's what war is.
I think John is someone who's always been a very good soldier who's never enjoyed being a soldier. He's been trained
Smut doesn't
a
care.
fighter from the time he was a little boy. And he's quite good at it. He's quite good at leading men into battle, and he also hates it. I think for him, it's all starts out seeming like it's going to work out, and then it turns into a nightmare.
When she takes off and starts burning the city, the Unsullied
God,
underground,
I remember
and
that
North
scene.
Underground, take that as their cue that it's a moral free-for-all.
Why?
What?
hey, Dun. Do you remember Burn Guy?
Burn guy?
Is that
From
the guy
Anomaly
who's like
Stream.
dancing? Who's like dancing when he gets burned? He looks like he's from Singing in the Rain or something.
Yeah. It was
Trap?
Anomaly Stream. Remember, Dun?
Yes.
We paused
Yeah.
it right there on that one frame.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, Space Junk made a hilarious comment.
Oh god, what?
Is it this one?
Yeah.
Type of shit in front of the walls, man. Does not know what a siege is. Sucker.
Shocker.
Shocker.
Yeah.
But you know, themes are for 8th grade book reports. Yes and is wrong.
So
There
did
is
she
no
not-
message. There is no theme. There is
Okay.
no moral.
So did Danny? Why didn't Danny actually accidentally burn some of her own soldiers if she's just going down burning the entire city.
She probably did, but it wasn't shown.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't matter because they regenerate.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You have a point there. You have a point. Fair enough.
Yeah.
The good guys are behaving like the bad guys, and the bad guys in this shot are the ones who are doing all of these horrific things around him, who are his own men.
I think was it Lindsay Ellis or Waller who commented on this? He's
Waller,
said,
definitely.
Well, both of them commented on the thing, but one of them said, "Bad guys, good. Good guys, bad."
We're so deep. We're
Yes.
so deep, my toes are barely submerged underwater. Oh my god.
Yes, no comment.
It's so deep, it can't even get above the asphalt level, so it doesn't even soak my shoes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Racist.
Well, it's just that whole sentence. The good
guys are behaving like the bad guys, and
Oh
the bad
my,
guys in this
I
shot
didn't
are the
even
ones
catch
who
that.
are doing all
Pause.
of these horrific things.
Pause, you fuck. The good guys are acting like the bad guys. Is it so black and white to you, fucking retards? Has it been Game of Thrones been about this TV show been about?
And the bad guys in this shot are the ones
who are doing all of these horrific things
around him who are his own men. That sentence doesn't make any sense.
Unless he's referring to now the good guys are the bad guys, so now the bad guy. Oh my brain, help!
Who cares? He has no concept of what this means anyway.
around him who are his own men. The moral lines that he's drawn for himself in his own life can't be maintained for everyone in all situations.
Wow.
You turned him into a fucking melon. Like he used to be a character and now he's just a whipped dog.
He's just a worm.
I guess that really does have a consequence.
We should, let's keep going.
I guess death does really have consequences for John. He's a fucking whipped dog. What a simp.
And the glorification of war, or about power, redemption, and choice.
It doesn't say anything about those things.
Power.
It doesn't say anything about those things because, according to Benioff, they don't matter.
They don't care about anything.
Yeah, they
Child
are
is
literally-
a nihilist.
It doesn't say anything about anything.
In the backlash, these bigger discussions aren't really being had.
Because there is none.
No, because they're fucking irrelevant. And even if you do, even if you make them relevant, they're still a fucking mess.
No.
Does
Maisie
this guy even know what a theme is? Can you define a theme for me?
No, the Frey book reports.
Yeah.
Yet
Apparently.
the showrunners that fan.
Huh? Oh my god.
She's McQueen.
She's McQueen.
She's McQueen.
For the greater good.
I've mentioned my theory that John is an android, right?
Yeah. For the greater
on the
good.
android.
For the greater good of the corpses of King's Landing.
The purification of the town.
We had to purify the town of all of the undesirables.
Jon Snow is an android in the show. Rhaegar and
I
Lyanna
am still
constructed
in
him.
tatters over that purification comment. Holy shit.
Benioff's face looks like 70% Botox.
Yeah, this is before
just like Emilia
had a lot
Clarke's
of-
in the show.
Yeah. And you lot, like, if you don't mind.
Like
the video.
Like your craps.
No, yeah.
By the way, we're going full EFAP here. We're only 3.5 minutes in, and we've been going for an hour.
Yeah, we're only past the intro phase of an E EFAP.
Let's keep going.
We're still doing better time than E EFAP.
Fans are now calling Dumb and Dumber
That's right.
I even think that's too nice.
Yeah, it kind
Man,
of is too
Don't
nice.
don't sully the good names of Harry and Lloyd.
Are the same ones who've been writing the show since season 1.
No. George R. R. Martin wrote the books, and they adapted the books.
Really shittily.
Really shittily, yeah.
I mean,
Like,
have you ever
I think
seen
it
the
was.
unaired
I think it
pilot?
was Anomaly. It was like I read the first 100 pages of the first book, and it was already way better than the entire show.
It was verbatim for the most part. Like it was like literally copy paste affair. Even in the unaired pilot, it was worse. It was just book prose and shit.
Yeah, remember the unaired pilot, Yesin?
Yeah, the unaired pilot is really, really bad. And like
Greetings.
And also, it's like Steven Spielberg. He's made some crap. Like, is his crap movies? Are his crap movies suddenly good because he made good ones?
Massive problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are the prequels and the sequels good because of the original trilogy?
Holy shit.
That is actually a very good point. Let's keep going, shall we?
God damn it. I keep trying to press spacebar to continue the video, but it keeps bringing up the comments.
And had been receiving critical acclaim well after they passed the books. As we saw with
Yeah,
and it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have, because people didn't think about it.
No, because not even I thought about it when I watched like season 6. I mean, people were just blindly on a fucking blind hype train. I mean, have you seen that fucking video of Arya killing the Night King? You know, the one where everybody's in the bar and they're all celebrating and they're just not even thinking about anything. It's like a part of it's like the sunk cost fallacy. It's like it'll be great in the end.
It's like, isn't there like a meme about how in like Man in Black it's like a person is smart, people are not? Is that how it goes?
Wow, that's actually a very good point. You got out at the right time. Technically, what happened was I actually stopped after season 5 mostly because I had to take a break because I needed to go on my mission. And then I came back, read the Wikipedia descriptions, watched the pertinent plot relevant scenes, and then just sat down and watched season 8 week to week. And it's like first 2 episodes I was just like, this is really slow. Why is this taking so long? And then season 3, episode 3 was like, okay, that was intense, but why did this happen? And then episode 4 was like, what? And then episode 5 was like, I'm done. This is terrible.
What?
Well, yeah, here's the quote from Men in Black 1. A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. Well, that's not accurate, but whatever. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that humans were alone on this planet. Imagine what you'll know tomorrow.
I'm sorry, what was that about the Earth being flat? You just
he says 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat, which isn't the case.
No, they didn't. Shut up. Not you, them. Carry on. I'm sorry. Let's reach out.
Yeah, people knew the Earth was round well into like the ancient Greeks.
Yeah, I hate that. I just hate that when people keep repeating that. Just come on, we've known that for ages. That was made up in the 19th century. Anyway, sorry, tangent, but yes.
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
With episodes like Battle of the Bastards and The Winds of Winter.
All right, John's.
That actually explains a whole lot of why that episode is bad.
Written by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Yeah.
This is not helping your point, Yasin. This is the opposite.
He also admits that Winds of Winter and Battle of the Bastards are not well written in this same video.
2016 was in hindsight was a lot better year than now.
Honestly, actually, 2016 was a really bad year, though. We had Batman v Superman that year.
Oh no!
Yeah, but we also had Doom 2016, which is the game I gifted to you.
True, but it was a bad year for movies. Like, it just seemed as though the bad stuff was worse.
Oh
than
yeah,
normal.
Ghostbusters 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Suicide Squad came out in 2016.
I never even seen that.
I haven't seen that other than the EFAP coverage, and even that
Oh,
was
hey,
just like,
Deadpool came out.
Good. Apparently,
And
Deadpool's
Rogue
good.
One.
Yeah.
This part even had math cults.
Oh, La La Land. I heard some good things about that.
I'm just still Stannis' arc in season 6. Yeah.
And of course, we got the Warcraft movie, which apparently was not good.
Yeah, the Warcraft movie was bad.
Oh, Moana. Moana is good.
Yeah, Moana's fine.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
That one was fine. It was Crimes of Grindelwald that was really bad.
Yeah.
Oh god,
Captain America: Civil War.
That was good. Yeah, that's the best Marvel movie. Fight me.
Oh god, the Battle of the Bastards.
Split.
Oh god,
That one was Oh, Sausage Party came out in 2016. I thought I was older.
You're gonna make me hungry.
Man.
Stop it.
Are we at Battle of the Bastards? Is that what he's on about now?
Yes.
Yeah.
You say Battle of the Bastards was good writing.
Shut up.
No, he's not saying that. He's saying that like that the show had been receiving a lot of critical acclaim, even though it was
despite not being good.
Yeah.
Essentially,
this is what he said.
Since season 1, and had been receiving critical acclaim well after they passed the books, as we saw with episodes like Battle of the Bastards and The Winds of Winter.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I kind of thought he was saying that this is really good, and it was written by David Benioff, so that's what I was thinking he was trying to say there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his point is at this point.
Because you're like, look at this, even though it's really shitty in hindsight, when you actually step down and
Look
think about it.
those! What are those?
Performances.
Yes, Becca. 2016 was the year that everyone died. Alan Rickman, Carrie Fisher.
Oh, if you put it that way, yeah, all the good actors died. But
We
I'm
all
talking
died,
about in
too.
comparison to like 2020 when we have a literal pandemic. So, I mean,
Which is still going on to this day. Fuck this shit.
Good act does not wash out the bad, nor a bad the good.
Though many repeat them on.
No, not this scene. Fuck you.
Also, here's the thing: these are mostly bad acts. Mostly bad acts.
Can I also
happen.
point out I wouldn't say not necessarily in general, but in terms of in this particular situation, I'm gonna say that Stannis is wrong.
Yes, I would concur.
It's like if you give someone $200 and then you steal those $200 and steal an extra 200, like yeah, that definitely outweighs the good one.
Or abuse your employees for a straight 6 years.
Yep.
With no repercussions or lawsuits. I'm pretty sure that washes out any good the show had.
Has anyone mentioned explosives in Morocco yet?
Jason mentioned it tangentially, but yes, these people are international war criminals technically.
Why do I? Yeah, I'm just noticing these are just like the same model, but a different color, slightly different colorings.
Yep.
It's kind of
Precisely.
lazy.
Yeah, it is kind of lazy.
Mantra that the problem isn't what happened, it's how it was executed. I don't think that's...
I'd say it's both.
It's both. It is solid both. Yes.
If we're talking, what are we talking about? Are we talking about this particular scene? Because that's the way it's framed. Like, cause like the execution was awful because it contradicts book lore if we're going by that standard.
It also contradicts common basic logic.
Yes, yes. It was what happened. It was okay. It was the execution. Even though it's like, are we talking about the sequence of events? Like, we're gonna have to elaborate on that a little bit more for me to comment.
Sentiment captures the full story behind the backlash. And that's not to say that everything was well executed, but to say that for several years, fans have been forgiving and even applauding sloppy writing because they liked what was happening.
Oh, remember when some of us actually thought Sansa was plotting against Jon just because how incompetently some of this stuff was filmed?
Yeah.
Remember evil Bran taking over the world? Remember when Bran in the Night calls the Night King?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. If we're using the book standard.
Yeah. It's just also like Dark Sansa. I think that she'll go mad. That is actually that is possible. I would agree with that. I think there needs to be way more context, though.
Yeah, I mean, it could be real. It could not be because he could have just changed it. That's why he's taking forever. Who knows anymore? I don't know.
It's honestly a mess at this point.
Oh. Yeah, the characters ain't that dumb. They're just absolutely mental. You're right.
Your Honor, my client pleads temporary insanity.
Yes. Sir, I don't think that's an actual argument.
Wait, I have an airtight defense. Dave and Dan wrote me.
Oh. Hey, to be fair, that's how they wrote my ending. I got defeated by a rock, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I got defeated by a new Star Wars character.
Sleeping on rocks.
Talking about sleeping, like my dog's making noises on the bed. She's dreaming.
She's dreaming about some handsome mutt who will sweep her off her feet.
No. Damn it! Did it again.
For example, the resolution of the Slaver's Base storyline and the Battle of the Bastards aren't really set up much better than anything in Season 8.
Exactly. They're both bad.
They're both bad. Exactly.
I missed.
Though honestly, honestly like still Season 8's still worse. Season 8's still infinitely worse. Just by virtue of just how many levels of stupidity are needed to get the characters to where they are going.
Even though the fighting pit scene didn't happen the way it happened in the books, I still enjoyed that scene as is by itself. Because murder, death, and fire. Yeah,
it's a neat little spectacle. Yeah.
Which scene?
Oh yeah, they actually used a flamethrower on real people, just to let you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They would.
Or had actual smoke in a building.
Yep. Asthma attack. Yep.
Fun. Anyways, back to the video.
They just have more popular outcomes. What changed in the last 3 episodes is that the outcomes got controversial.
No.
The outcome just got stupid. Stupider, I guess. Let me back it up a bit so I can get a better understanding.
Sloppy writing because they liked what was happening. For example, the resolution of the Slaver's Base storyline and the Battle of the Bastards aren't really set up much better than anything in Season 8. They just...
No, I think they have better setup because Season 8 shit just happens, and that's all that happens.
Yeah,
random incoherent bullshit.
Which is not to say that those episodes were necessarily good.
No.
Yeah. It's basically just... It's comparing a stink beetle sent to a heaping pile of manure.
Yeah.
have
something like that.
aren't really set up much better than anything in season 8. They just have more popular outcomes. What changed in the last 3
Yeah, because they make more sense, which says something.
episodes is that the outcomes got controversial. For example,
No, hold on, let me see.
many believed that defeating the Night King was Jon's whole arc, and insist that
was.
Jon was robbed of his destiny. But even before he encountered the White Walkers, Jon's conflict was always framed as love versus duty.
No.
Don't you remember the scene between Aemon? What was it? The bear. What was his name?
G.R. Mormont.
Yeah. Remember he was, when he was trying to leave? This is literally the scene, I think, where Jon was about to abandon the Night's Watch for Robb. And then what's his face? Fat guy came back. I forgot his name.
Samuel Tarly.
Yeah. And freaking Sam came back and brought him back, and names! I'm just fucking farting today. Mormont fucker. What to say his name? That he's like, oh, are you gonna play the Game of Thrones? Or are you gonna fight for the living or some shit like that? Are we gonna forget about that?
They kind of forgot that too.
Yeah, they kind of forgot about everything, to be honest.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they did.
Keep good.
Oh, what was he talking about earlier? Like Daenerys, like, oh, he didn't see Daenerys' story because like that whole fucking thing was stupid. Like that last bit, we're like, oh, you can't tell Sansa. Oh my god, like if you would just marry, nothing like all this would fall apart, and you can still tell your family because it'll become pointless in the end.
False conflict.
Yeah, shit conflict.
The human heart in conflict with itself.
No, there is no conflict because it's manufactured, you absolute twat. You fucking twat, I meant fucking words with other things.
His arc is about making difficult choices, not accomplishing great feats.
You can do both.
He did both.
He made the choice not to save. He made the choice not to save Samuel Tarly in the Battle of the Winterfell during the Night King fight, and then he got cucked by Arya because she has teleporting powers.
Yeah, and also like he has done great deeds. The Battle of the Bastards, like, is technically a great deed. Uniting the wildlings and bring them beyond the wall is a great feat. I don't know what this guy is. This is such hypocrisy. This is such sophistry. This is so insane.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep going.
Jon is still a chosen hero. It's just that his heroism isn't supposed to be cool or honorable or even triumphant.
What did you just say?
Which hear that again?
And in that, Jon is still a chosen hero. It's just that his heroism isn't supposed to be cool or honorable or even triumphant.
It's not honorable to like
so
kill the mass murderer of the city.
Wait a second. What did you say? It's not supposed to be honorable or cool or triumphant. It's like how can a victory be none of those things? How can a legendary act be none of those things?
So, in what did Jon's heroism consist then?
Killing a mass murdering psychopath? I don't know.
Oh, well, I guess it's sort of heroic.
Yeah.
Self-sacrificing, honorable, kind of like Ned Stark. He sacrificed his own personal honor.
I have something. I have the clip for it. I have a bit for you.
All right.
I think the final scene between Jon and Daenerys is something we came up with sometime in the midst of the third season of the show. The broad strokes of it, anyway.
In terms of the final episode, even just thinking about, where these characters end up, which of them survive, which of them die. That's something we've been talking about right from the get-go. And I think it was around season 3 when it all started to make sense to us.
Oh, okay. They're on season. Okay, all right. Well, we
But they
came
also-
up with.
And also, like, they said that, like, they didn't really know. They came up with it around. They said that they came up with it from the get-go, but then Weiss said we came up with the ending around season 3.
Yes.
Let me rewind so we can kind of for that again.
Yeah, get fucked.
I think the final scene between Jon and Daenerys is something we came up with sometime in the midst of the 3rd season of the show. The broad strokes of it, anyway.
In terms of the final episode, even just thinking about, where these characters end up, which of them survive, which of them die, that's something we've been talking about right from the get-go. And I think it was around season 3 when it all started to make sense to us exactly where it was going.
Us.
Jon and Daenerys is something we came up with sometime in the midst of the
Go back.
3rd season of the show.
Go back.
What?
Go back to that last paragraph. All right, play again.
Exactly where it was going.
I think the final scene between Jon and Daenerys is something we came up with sometime in the midst of the 3rd season of the show.
Okay.
The broad strokes of it, anyway. But there was a tremendous amount of pressure to get it right, because we know that this is not a scene that's giving people what they want.
We got there and was just kind of like, oh my God, this is going to be so emotional. And then it was realizing that we actually had to do so much work to get all those shots that we needed.
Please, Daddy.
Can't hide behind small mercies.
There's this discussion through the whole show of whether or not Daenerys is like her father, who was insane. Throughout the whole conversation they have, she really maintains like a reasonable approach to the thing that she's done. There are only a few places where something peeks out that tells him what's really coming.
What about
Really? Pause, you fuck. Oh, really? This is the thing that tells him, maybe she's not all right in the head.
Maybe we just need to watch this whole thing in its entirety, since it's got some really bad stuff in it.
Really, but this also kind of lines up with their original ending, kind of. Like, because she didn't actually murder people. Like, in the original ending, apparently, she didn't murder people, like, 1 billion people for no reason. So, like, this is, like, telling Jon, hey, she's not all right in the head. She's actually going to murder millions of people for no reason.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Not a literal fucking genocide.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wildfire.
Yeah, originally, yeah.
Yeah, not Danny.
Not my Danny. And like, I've always liked Danny. I've never had I've never really been like super annoyed by Danny like a lot if
I watched the show again, I probably won't like her as much because I have more critical eye now for like characters and writing and stuff.
And honestly, I like Emilia Clarke. I think Emilia Clarke is one of the cutest human beings ever to be genetically created in a lab to exemplify the attribute of cuteness.
It's too bad she was absolutely butchered, as her acting career, because holy shit, they never used her.
And also, another problem is just the fact that she's been in mostly bad blockbuster movies, like Terminator Terminator Genesis, for example. Solo.
Mm-hmm. Do you know Lenny Headey and Emilia Clarke were both in the Terminator franchise at one point?
Yeah, Lena Headey was in the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Which is a shame they canceled, because I remember liking it.
Yeah.
But besides the low budget, which is a shocker, because even a low budget show can have good stuff in it. It's surprising.
Yeah, here's some more bad stuff.
They don't get to choose.
The throne would not survive. that the thing that everybody wanted, the thing that caused everybody to be so horrible to everybody else over the course of the past 8 seasons was going to melt away. The dragon flying away with Danny's lifeless bodies. That's the climax of the show.
That's the climax of the show.
I'm like, oh, this chair that caused so much pain is now destroyed. All right, Brand's king.
Just
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, the small council room is unharmed and untouched.
What we didn't really realize was how much residual drama
we didn't really realize was.
And this last bit was just slapped together at the last
Once
second.
we realized that both Jon and Tyrion were inevitably going to be prisoners, we knew that their fate was far from settled. So,
Do we have to really go? Do we really have to go to this part? I mean, I don't really want to. It's stupid. Everybody knows it's stupid. Moving on.
Well, also just the fact that like he thinks that it was well planned out. We factually know it was not.
They literally just made this up at the last side. They're like, "Oh shit, we have to do the rest." We kind of forgot about Tyrion and Jon's final bit. Like they're like, "I don't know, fucking Jon goes to the wall or something." I don't know.
He makes it sound like it's this brilliant discovery that had to do these things too, and they're fairly basic.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, we kind of forgot about the Jon and Tyrion."
Yeah.
The chat. Let's see. I disliked her when I first watched Emilia Clarke. That is, I guess, or Danny.
Danny.
Then season 8 happened. God
Oh,
help us.
Yeah.
sad music plays.
so we went through a number of different versions of how to best take advantage of that tension, and we finally landed on the version we had in the Dragon Pit.
Which is absolutely garbage.
I suppose you won the crown.
Me? Can't think of a worse choice.
Who's in?
And then why you hand?
Around season 3, we went to.
Around season 3.
Around season
He writes
3.
and kind of figures things out as he's writing. When we went to visit him back then, and this was while he was still writing book 5.
No.
Didn't he give them an outline?
I think he did.
Who
but he
knows what
gets-
that
but he
outline
did-
entailed?
But the timeline is completely wrong.
Yeah.
The timeline is completely wrong. He was finished with book 5. Book 5 had been published 2 years previous to
But-
see. 2 years previous.
But the one thing they always, the one thing that always bothers me is like everybody takes this as like fact, like what they're talking about is like what actual like the actual footnotes. Like we don't know what footnotes they were left with, like what they say or what happens, because they could just be bullshitting us this whole time.
Oh, it's fact that they're BSing us.
Didn't book?
Oh, go for it, sorry.
Pardon me. Thank you. Didn't book 5 come out like about the same time as the show started?
Yes, that's why he's saying
Book
it's
5 came out right
in
before.
2000. Yeah, he said exactly 1 month after season 5 I've premiered.
Season
He's
1
saying-
premiered, you dummy.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it was after season 1 premiered that the show started.
Mm-hmm.
No, what do I
Yes.
say? It was
He didn't
after
know
season
where
1
the story
premiered
was
that
going,
book
and
5 came
He
out.
knew a few key things, and one of those key things was that the final king at the end of the story would be
Yeah.
Bran.
The final king at the end. That does not imply the Iron Throne.
And how do and like at this point, I don't know if I even believe
First of his
anything
name,
they say.
King of the Andals and the first
Yeah.
men,
Yeah.
Lord of the 6 kingdoms, Protector of the realm.
No, he's
Lord
not the
Tyrion.
protector of the realm.
You will be my hand.
No.
We knew that's where we wanted Tyrion to end up.
Should
Where
we
we
maybe
want.
get back to the actual
Yeah, we
video
should
at this
probably get
point?
back,
I think
yeah.
we've gone
Yeah.
way
We
off
just
topic.
turned it.
Yeah,
We just
sorry.
turned this into a commentary on Dave and Dan.
Yeah. Yes, I
Everything is
apologize. I apologize for derailing it. I thought the context would be helpful.
No, it is. Everything is a commentary on David and Dan anyway.
Let's get back to it.
The point is that doing the right thing isn't always totally awesome. That kind of subversion is
Oh, no
Doing
comment.
the right thing isn't always awesome.
No fucking shit.
Lord of the Six Kingdoms, but two of them will rebel soon.
Yeah.
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 There's Great
Dorn.
Skull.
Yeah, Dorn. There is no way to keep Dorn in line. There is no way. They are not
I
going
mean,
to marry their
Bran
daughters
has
to this
mind control and future sight,
yeah.
so he probably can.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, Bran is going to be this horrible, tyrannical dictator but he's also going to be like, oh, it was fated to
Very
happen.
absent.
It doesn't matter. It will all play out as I had foreseen.
He'll
Oh my
just
gosh!
war-
Imagine if Bran turns into the Allied master computer from I have no mouth and I must scream.
He'll just warg everyone to do what he wants.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, or he'll like if you rebel, he'll force you to throw yourself out a window.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a riot? I would just love to be able to be an all-powerful.
Let's keep
Classic
going.
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
I mean, if we look to the beginning, Ned's arc seemed to be going south to become Hand of the King and solve the mystery of Jon Arryn's murder. Yet, not only does Ned die, he also
did
never
solve
figures
it.
out who the real killer was. The true arc was Ned's inner struggle. And like Jon, the legacy of his actions on the world isn't immediately apparent.
Ask me again in 10 years.
Not all, but
What?
so many.
I don't get it. That was really poorly put together. I didn't catch it.
I think what he's trying to say is that characters in Game of Thrones do not get their ideal endings. Which is fine, but there is also a considerable emphasis placed on the series by George R.R. Martin himself that it makes sense.
Yeah, Ned's trajectory was invented by GRRM. These other characters' trajectories, you can't even call them trajectories. Written by the D-Chef, but you can't even call them trajectories, or even writing for that matter.
No, they're just there. It's like, well, this is their plot now. Okay.
Yeah.
Like Varys just randomly switched sides for no reason, without explanation. Euron just teleports all of the time without explanation. You're fucking what was this? What was this? Kyber could just invent anything for when the plot needs it.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised he did. Like, if there was like a season 9, and if he's actually survived, he would like invent like fucking mech warriors or some like anti-aircraft guns or some shit.
Probably.
Wasn't there like a line that says they didn't know what to do with Kyber? Like they kind of forgot about him.
Yes.
Well, they literally kind of forgot about him. They left him out of that
Like,
shot.
oh shit, we forgot. We got to kill him off, I guess.
But they literally kind of forgot about him in that meeting where he just vanishes from a couple of frames.
Yep.
Many of the complaints around the final season come down to some form of, this isn't what I expected. From the belief.
Yeah, because it was absolutely mental.
Yeah.
It's like this is a really long time ago, but I watched a podcast talking about The Last Jedi. It's like, yeah, nobody expected it, but nobody expected it because it made no sense, which makes it bad.
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected, because I would expect logic, consistency, you know, it would pertain to the world, you know, like a semi-realistic world in a fantasy setting.
It's kind of like Luke being right about to kill Kylo, and then running away and giving up on everything. It's like people wouldn't expect that, but the reason they wouldn't expect it is because it's completely out of character, which makes it bad.
But did it subvert your expectations?
Shall we keep going?
No.
Belief that the Night King was the true threat, to the belief that Jon.
I wonder why.
Yeah. I wonder why people would think that.
Also, no mention of the human rights violations. Don't you just love it when they do that?
They're not going to mention any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Because they don't ever research it. They don't do their research.
I mean, this was before Fire Cannot Kill a Dragon was out.
Well, we still
This
had
was like
the
right
interview.
after the
Well, we still had the interview.
Yeah,
with Miguel
we still
Sapochnik.
have Amelia Clark walking around in a drunken daze for 3 hours. We
We
already
have-
have a kid checking into therapy.
That was
Not therapy,
already.
rehab.
That
We
was
have-
still under the wrong context,
We
unbelievably.
have the blow by blow of the disastrous production of The Battle of the Bastards from Miguel Sapochnik, and the disastrous Dorn thing where they're costing.
Yeah, we've already covered that, and Dragon the Mass has already covered that.
Oh,
So-
let's mention that the fact that when Amelia was walking around in a daze, that was the original script.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
this.
not
Ending.
this, not this botched up edited version.
Was the last watch out already when this video came out?
Pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That already has.
That is some really bad stuff. Like their porta potties froze because they decided to film in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
I still don't get the whole point of that shit. Like, what's the fucking point?
Anyway, let's continue.
Jon would sit the Iron Throne, to the belief that Jaime's ending would be more heroic. Which leads us to question, why did the audience have the expectations they did?
Because that's
Why
what was
would it
set
end-
up by the show.
Why would it end any other way? Why would it end the way? Why would people think it would end this way? Because
Well,
people,
maybe because that's the logical conclusion to their arcs.
I was about to go into that, but more elaborately. But fine.
Yeah, let's keep going.
And what is it about subverted expectations that's so hard to accept?
Oh,
just shut up.
Maybe the fact that a lot of times it's used as an excuse for piss poor plot breaking piece of shit.
Also, here's another thing. They are technically not subverting expectations. Technically, they're just writing the actors into. They're just stunt casting the actors into their own roles. Like, they just care about showing off faces. Like you'll literally hear them say really weird, creepy things. Like, this is one of the best scenes in the show in the season. No dialogue, just Lena's face.
Oh, can you find that clip? I want to show it one day.
Oh, I have it's in the Austin Film Fest. It's basically like a giant piece of commentary. I can go find it right now.
No, because I remember there was this private phone call between David Benioff and somebody, and he was just creepily talking about people's faces, like a scene. I can't remember. He was like, "Yeah, look at that face," and I'm like, "Oh, it made my skin crawl."
Most of what he says makes my skin crawl.
Yeah. Well alliterated, says.
Well alliterated Norwegian man.
Yeah, I know. I know that too. So, that was good job.
Oh, I found it.
Oh.
Driving, and Aiden just goes, like, oh, okay. Daenerys Targaryen's alive with dragons. Make note of that. Like, it's just watching him internalize that is delicious.
This is one of my favorite scenes of the whole season. I mean, just the performances here, no movement, just lean on her knees and Jonathan sitting, but just so compelling watching both these faces.
Wait, can you give me the link? Because your stream is very laggy.
It's just look up Austin Film Fest. Rewrote the characters to show out their favorite actors.
Can you just paste the link on the private chat?
Sure, I can do that. Here you go. And then I think this is the.
I can hear literally none of this.
Close on Peter's face.
There it is.
Yeah, the sound is really bad.
That's why I wanted to pick it up on my
Peter's
end.
just a fantastic actress.
Yeah, she really is so powerful. Another character we didn't expect to go on beyond season 4.
And Alaria being Indira was.
Yeah. I don't remember like the. It's got to be somewhere in Dragon Demands, but that's the. Yeah. Yeah, we should probably keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Part 2. What if Game of Thrones was...
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you gotta remove the comment.
No, because I guess every time I push the space bar to continue the video, it always pops up the fucking comment again. It's annoying. What if Game of Thrones never meant to be... What? What the fuck?
Who cares?
What is this?
Is
What?
this where it proves that it's too deep to be
Is this a
popular?
parody? Is this a troll?
That's why the ending was so unpopular, because it was too deep and we just don't grasp it.
Basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was never meant to be pop. What the fuck are you talking about, you crazy son of a bitch? What?
Basically, he's saying that, like, he's going to say that, like, it was a niche fantasy thing, and this got, like, super mega popular.
How was it never meant to be popular? What is the point of publishing a book?
Yeah, if not to make some measure of money off of your art.
It's just too deep, that's all. And it happened to become popular because it was brilliant, but then it became too deep for the masses, and only the brilliant minds like Yez and Shap can grasp its greatness.
So if this stream, like, if my podcast ever get popular, 30K views and shit like that, I would just say it was never meant to be popular. So fuck you.
It's all Dunn's fault. He did it. It's all Dunn's fault.
That's it, guys, in the chat. This was never meant to be popular as it is now. Like 7 viewers. Ugh, wow. It was never meant to be popular. So fuck you.
7
We're ending the
viewers.
stream now.
Yep, 7 viewers and 1 like.
Yeah.
Let's be quiet.
Let's keep going.
Sorry about that.
It's never meant to be popular. Throughout its 8-year run, Game of Thrones became what can only be described as a landmark television drama, pushing the limits of what a show could accomplish in terms of scope and story, and gaining popularity approaching that of Star Wars, Harry Potter, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Just imagine if this was competently made.
Yeah.
That would be insane. Because then they could actually have a real budget. Like, they would actually know how to spend money and, like, how to do props and shit. They could actually afford.
Thank you, Space Junk. I appreciate that.
Done. It was never meant to be popular.
Exactly. I never meant to publish it, and then I told Ed the idea of it on a stream, and then people have been pestering me to do it.
Maybe we should play Among Us at some point. I mean, I know it's a dead game, but why not at this point?
Actually, they didn't blow all their money on dragons. They actually blew their money on their sets. Like, they built a $10,000 staircase that took months to build, and they also, like, built an entire, like, King's Landing set that was barely used.
I couldn't see.
I want that staircase.
Yeah, I could never see the staircase. But then there were whole rooms that never were even used, or whole spaces that were never even used that they had laboriously constructed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Simply put, the show reached mainstream status,
Okay.
which is complicated.
No,
So
it's
for those who
not.
don't know, Game of Thrones is based on this series of gritty fantasy novels by George R. R. Martin, who'd previously been known for writing really weird niche sci-fi, filled with telepathic hive minds, body snatching, and space Catholicism.
How is this
The books,
at all?
as well as the early seasons, trade out straightforward character arcs and cathartic victories for messy, soul-crushing realism. I say this to point out.
Unlike
stop.
not false equivalence.
Well, not only is it a false equivalence, it's straight up false.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is, how is gritty realism not cathartic in certain cases?
Like Randall Thor's arc is definitely not like PG clean. Like it's an accurate representation of how exactly a man would react to being said, "Oh, you're the chosen one." He'd be psychologically messed up by the whole thing. Yes, yeah. Blacksails did a better job with their set investments.
I mean,
a lot better.
think about it in terms of like tragedy. Like, can't a tragedy be cathartic?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that, like, for whatever reason, like Romeo and Juliet, even though it's really weak. Same with Titus Andronicus.
It's like, is Hamlet not a compelling character because he doesn't get like the throne back at the end? Like, I don't get this.
Neither do I. I want to get past this.
Like, I don't think people have put even 2 seconds of thought into this.
No,
the soul-crushing realism. I say this to point out that unlike Star Wars, Harry Potter, or the MCU, Martin's story was probably never meant to be a big crowd pleaser.
What the fuck is that? I published like I think you would publish a book. It was just never meant to be popular. So, what kind of mindset is that? Everybody wants their stuff to be successful.
By the way, what do we mean by crowd pleaser in this case?
Game of Thrones was a crowd pleaser kind of from near the beginning, as far as I recall.
It was designed to be a crowd pleaser. That's what a TV show is.
Remember how the internet blew up over the Red Wedding?
Or how, like, I think Ned's Red Wedding first.
Ned's death as well.
Before that, was
just before season 8, you'd hear random people talking about the White Walkers.
Yeah, that's a movie I haven't heard in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
Let's keep going, shall we?
Yeah.
They never meant to be a big crowd pleaser.
That is not a good example.
This is actually kind of a good example because this was very controversial.
Huh?
That was actually kind of a
very good example because it was very
that was kind of a good example in an ironic way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of the show, season 6 and 7 saw Benioff and Weiss shift gears to a more mainstream narrative. There were probably a lot of reasons for this, some business related, others to do with the challenges of adaptation. But the story that once built up Joffrey as a villain for 4 seasons.
Nope.
What narrative?
All right, which rewind it again? I want to catch that.
Mainstream narrative. There were probably.
Okay, hold on.
What narrative?
Let's shift gears
Nothing
to more
made
mainstream
sense.
narrative. It's like cut the mainstream narrative because they don't know how to write, so they can't write complex shit. They can't even write basic shit. Fucking hell.
I mean, forget season 7. You can't really apply narrative to season 7, can you?
It's not really much of a narrative.
No, you can't.
It's diarrhea. It has so many fucking holes, so many obvious holes, and it's insane. Huh. Oh, what happened? Did you blue screen?
By the way, can I point out this guy talks about this guy's like, oh yeah, it's good that they subvert expectations, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna justify this terrible ending by talking about how the show shifted into the mainstream,
which is false. It didn't.
Okay, so I'm gonna justify the subversion of expectations by appealing to them changing it into a more generic story,
and then going into an abrupt random ending.
Like after like season 4, everything just stood still. Like all the characters, they all just been stagnant. up until season 8, where everybody just went insane, of course.
Yeah, or even season 7, people would act in bizarre, random ways.
Or season 6 or season 5.
Yeah, I remember that guy's video, the one I showed done. He was talking about like how like it was empowerment, women empowerment, or like it was super feminist. I think he was talking about that scene from season 6 where Daenerys burns the cows. I'm like, no, that was
no, it was season 7 where John was talking about that women and children should like learn to fight, and as well as like saying that Sansa it shouldn't be women splaining to the the blacksmiths about how to do their job.
No, that's because D&D are just idiots.
Yeah, they're just dumb. Yeah.
I forgot what we were talking about. Gotta back it up again.
Narrative.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Dave wise shift gears to a more mainstream narrative because they are sub-basic narrative. Holy shit.
Probably a lot of reasons for this.
The only reason is because they're stupid.
And also
Nothing
because
else.
they wanted to show off the actors' faces. And this is a guy that claims that like the 4 Arya person took them out of context and made them look bad, when it's just like, no, they made themselves look bad with quotes like, it was an expensive film school.
Wait, when did I kind of forget?
Where we were at.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I guess I kind of forgot. Damn. I kind of forgot steps in.
Yeah, how there isn't a narrative in the last couple of seasons, last several seasons.
Oh yeah, you see this right here? This is Arya's training. This is where she became a super assassin, Terminator, teleporty person from like a generic from like the Elder Scrolls or some other generic fantasy show series or some shit.
This is how she turned into the Enchantress from Suicide Squad.
Basically, about being hit with a stick. Am I right?
Yeah.
And then he hit him with a shovel.
Business related, others to do with the challenges of adaptation.
No. They skipped
because they didn't adapt it.
How is there a challenge of adapting something when you don't even adapt the thing? Your brain exe has stopped working. So
shall we keep going?
Yes.
But the story that once built up Joffrey as a villain for 4 seasons, only to have him poisoned by a relatively minor character, became the show that gave every victory to the fan favorite character.
Okay,
relatively minor character. How are Olenna Tyrell and Littlefinger relatively minor characters?
And
I mean, I think he's talking about Olenna specifically, which is like, okay, she's not that major,
but she's not like some random bloke off the fucking street either.
That's very true. She is important.
I mean, when when she comes on the screen, she's like, she demands your attention, like fucking Tywin.
Yeah, because go for it. Sorry.
Thank you. Every victory to the fan favorite character, but didn't a lot of fan favorite characters not get victories, or am I missing something?
At least in the later, I think
in season 5 and 6, there was basically this push to get certain characters who weren't at the top of the billing list out of the show in favor of the characters that were actually popular.
Yeah,
they were thinning the herd quite.
Barristan is a good example. Stannis.
I'm never going to get over that.
And Doran,
absolutely. Roose.
We don't mention Doran though.
Rickon.
Rickoff.
Rickoff.
Yeah.
Rick in, Rick out.
technically Jon Snow because he doesn't quite succeed at the Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah, it's Jon Snow
Yeah,
died
but
in
he
season 5.
He still wins, and he doesn't die. Like, he does die, but he comes back to life. So who cares?
Yeah, season 6 kind of just becomes like more like traditional, like popular fantasy stuff.
So in that case, he's correct. But in that case, why did they shift gears into that? And why did they supposedly shift back in season 8?
Mm-hmm.
And no, Becca, he did not call Diana Rigg a bloke. He said the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So of course people expected Jon and Dany to achieve their goals together. Of course they expected Jaime to save King's Landing from Cersei.
Because that was actually set up.
No, not necessarily.
Oh, it makes more
We
sense
expected
though.
him to kill her because it's a like completion of his arc. Like it would be like symmetry for the him killing the Mad King. He then kills the Mad Queen Cersei.
And by the way, I stand by that. That's still a better way to do it.
But the thing is, even if let's say that we have season 4 and they cut out the atrociously stupid drinking game scene, and just have Jaime stay at Winterfell to the end of the show, that would still be that would still work at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such basic rudimentary shit. It's like anybody could write a better ending. Like the fairy tale ending everybody keeps talking about, like a meme. That's still a better way of doing it.
Yeah. Though like nobody on this planet would ever call Dame Diana Rigg a joke, especially in her younger days. Like Dame Diana Rigg looks like Natalie Dormer's twin. And Natalie Dormer is like really
Natalie Dormer is really, really attractive.
Yes.
Oh,
and really cool as well.
Yeah, she's a cool chick as well.
He's the fighting expert to start a read.
This
Valerian, your camera's on.
Yes, I know. Can you see the penguin? Because this penguin could write a better script.
Indeed. Let's go with that.
Okay, where's my? I need to find my cursor so I can hide myself again.
Hide thy face from the unholy masses.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I've been doing this whole time.
You'd die horribly if you saw me anyway.
Nah, you're just like an adorable curmudgeonly old man. You're fine.
That's what you think. That's just your opinion.
And we have Stannis. Don't worry, we have like young Stannis too. So
Yeah, well, I recently shaved my beard, so I don't necessarily look like Stannis anymore.
damn.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back on it. Of course, they expected Jaime to save King's Landing from Cersei. Still a better way of doing it. Anyways, carrying on.
They just watched Sansa execute her rapist, and Arya assassinate everyone who took part in the Red Wedding, and Grey Worm kill the slave masters, and the Stark.
Yeah, slave masters, people who murder people. Okay, let's say that again. Sansa execute her rapist by watching gleefully as he gets eaten alive. Check. Arya assassinates everyone, including the children? Question mark.
Yeah, it's very dubious that all those people had a hand in the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
So she is a psychopath. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Arya's
Everyone who
psychotic.
took part in the Red Wedding, and Grey Worm kill the slave master.
And slave masters who are slave masters who really don't give a damn about anyone.
The thing is, it goes back to that absolutely stupid, shitty speech by Tyrion in the finale. Oh, they were evil men. It's like, yeah, they were.
Yeah, they kind of like castrated children on like fucking. No, they didn't castrate. They crucified. No,
They did both.
Well, they did both.
Like I'm trying to find the right word. I'm like, wait, am I messing up? I'm like, oh yeah, they did both. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, let's keep going.
sisters, and the Stark kids avenge their dad. Suddenly, we were being given a steady stream of good triumphing over evil, and people were
Okay, good versus evil. Now there's that generic shit again. That's why I never liked about it. It's like the Night Kings, they're evil, and these people are the evil bad guys. I'm like, oh,
so boring.
It is boring.
Yeah, I mean, they were hinting at something a bit more interesting when they had the origin story of the Night King, that he was actually created by the children of the forest.
and remember if you remember the Craster and his kids, so they had some kind of deal, so they weren't just mindless killing machines. So I guess that was kind of forgotten.
And then there were the brand theories that people used to have.
Yeah, they were actually smart.
Yeah, remember the time travel that never came up again?
Yeah.
They kind of forgot about it.
I've got things back to the petting because winter is coming. Like, I always had my little ending, which was that they lose the war and they have to like retreat back to Essos or some shit, and Westeros becomes like the new Valyria, where it's just this unhospitable wasteland.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I had, my little ending where they lose at Winterfell and they have to pull back into the south. And then the final episode is just them sort of commiserating over their situation in King's Landing or something. And then the sun goes down, the army of the dead show up, cut to black, and we never actually find out what happens.
No, I'm
Which,
not really a fan
I mean,
of that.
it would kind of evoke the sort of same thing as Dying of the Light by George R.R. Martin.
I mean, after all that build-up, I don't think that would work for this show particularly.
I mean, we can have them have like 2 battles with the White Walkers where they lose both.
Yeah, like have a whole bunch where they lose and then eventually they win, but it's like a hard-won victory.
Yeah, I'd be down with that.
And then it's like, okay, there's like a couple people left. One of them, okay, we gotta fix all this. And then they just leave the future uncertain.
Or like Boston University, where the Whites end up in King's Landing.
Or when
yeah,
Whites end up in King's Landing, and that's why Danny burns the city.
Yeah,
I had that one too in my head.
Yeah, that would be good.
Because that would make
Fighting
sense.
expert, I would go with sequel lovers, actually.
Yeah, sequel lovers are way more virulent. This guy's just a piece of wet toast.
I mean, because like there's a lot more sequel defenders than there are Game of Thrones defenders, because it's mostly one-sided.
Yeah, this guy is a piece of wet bread. The sequel defenders are vampires.
There's also but the worst one is definitely DC EU fans are the worst.
Oh, oh yes, the Snyder cult.
Yes, the Snyder cult is the worst. Unironically,
What did they find so interesting about that movie? I was just bored for the most part.
They think it's deep. They think it
I
has.
think it's deep
because it's so dark, you can't see anything, so they think it's deep.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a society where good writing is a distant memory.
Yes.
I can't believe they actually put that in the trailer.
And then they wisely cut it out. That whole thing must have been 80 yard. I cannot believe that it was anything other than 80 yard out.
Alright.
Let's keep
Moving
going.
on.
We're eating it up. So when we got to the messy George R. R. Martin conclusion, audiences were
This
jarred.
is not a messy George R. R. Martin conclusion. This is just a messy piece of shit, nonsensical motherfucking garbage.
And how do you know if it's George R. M's ending? Like people just keep taking those footnotes as if they're like stone or facts or something.
And
like,
we don't know if they followed them. We
Yeah,
know for
so-
a fact they didn't adapt books 4 and 5 very well.
See, this is what always bothers me about these people when they keep bringing up the George told them the ending. Like, how do you know that they actually went through with it? How do you know they just bullshitted and said they did, but didn't really?
Like factually, King Bran was an afterthought. Like we've had it. It is. They've admitted it from their own mouths that King Bran was an afterthought. They didn't realize that it would.
You know, because in a sense, they kind of remind me of console fanboys, where they're like, "Oh, this thing is just gonna completely destroy PCs and shit," and like, how do you know this thing's not even out yet?
Let's
And,
just
like,
keep
I don't
going.
get it.
This is
It's-
we've gone over this. Let's keep going.
I mean, yeah.
Hard by the lack of cathartic victory. Thus came a flood of emotions from the fandom. People were upset by the execution and content of what happened, and it became hard to draw the line where one feeling ended and the other began. So
Doesn't
people
matter.
stopped looking past.
What the hell is that?
Somebody's doorbell going off. Let's just keep going.
People were upset by the execution and content of what happened, and it became hard to draw the line where one feeling ended and the other began.
Does
so
it matter,
people
though?
stopped looking past flaws in the show's execution like they used to, and instead fixated on them directly. After all,
So people became more aware of the shit.
So people woke up and started being sheep. Isn't that a good thing?
Yes, people stopped being sheep and started thinking for themselves. I was one of those people. You fuck.
Yeah, so was I.
Let's just keep going.
People don't need much justification for stuff like Jon is king now, or Dany's finally coming to Westeros, like they do for.
In hindsight, it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, but people still believed in it because, oh, yeah, they're rushing it, but we're gonna get a good ending out of it. And then the ending was the most rushed bastard piece of shit ever.
I like how some people, like that one guy showed down. He's like, he knew that the show was gonna end bad, but nobody was expecting it to be this bad.
Yeah, they were just like he was just like it kind of for him. It was just he was pulling up a box of popcorn. Well, fighting expert like it's kind of interesting. Like fighting expert, like I'm interested to see. So like, is it just the fight scenes that made you hate it, or was it anything else? I'm just curious.
Yeah, because if it's the fight scenes that make you hate the show, then you must hate most movies ever made. Because most fight scenes in most movies are kind of shit.
Yeah, like they clearly are mostly going for style rather than efficiency or realism.
I mean, even Lord of the Rings has tismy fights too sometimes, and they ignore armor a lot too. So
yeah,
I wouldn't say purely. I wouldn't call a show bad because of bad fight scenes. Because even good movies have tismy fights and cliche fantasy fighting styles.
Anyway, should we just keep going?
Yeah, let's keep going.
For Jaime goes back to Cersei. We actually saw this already with Stannis Baratheon, whose tragic ending received highly polarized reactions.
Because it was stupid and dog shit. What is your
really
argument here? Hold on.
stupid.
Let me rewind that.
Like they do for Jaime goes back to Cersei. We actually saw this already with Stannis Baratheon, whose tragic ending.
Tragic ending. It was so comical.
It was
Yeah,
black
it was
comedy.
comical.
Yeah, it's basically just a series of bad things happen, and then he just dies unceremoniously.
Oh, and
your wife's dead. Oh, this is dead. Oh, your Ben left you. Okay.
Oh, your red hooker woman is gone.
She's not a hooker, but two things. Firstly, 20 good men.
Oh, please a little.
Secondly,
Elaborate.
I'm talking, please.
We'll go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Secondly, there was good dialogue that they cut out for Stannis in his death scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Please elaborate. I'm interested, fighting expert.
Received highly polarized reactions depending on whether or not viewers had high hopes for the character, with his fans accusing the showrunners of intentional character assassination.
Well, they
Well,
weren't
the character assassinated him from the very beginning. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That's not Stannis in the book. Like Stannis is actually like very funny. He's not very funny in the show.
Oh, Stannis is brilliant in the books.
Yeah, he's like they kind of, I think what's their face? Order of the Green Hand have theorized that Stannis is somewhat on the autism spectrum. I don't know how valid that is, but he seems like he is basically good at anything military wise he turns his hand to. Like he built a fleet from nothing.
I mean, he's supposedly one of the greatest military minds in all of Westeros, or in all the world, really.
Yeah, like he defeated the Ironborn at sea. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's gotta count for a lot.
Yeah.
Taking a page from my brother's book. No, not that Robert ever read any.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened with Stannis is now happening on a much larger scale with much more popular characters.
With
While we can say that the tragedies of Ned, Catelyn, and Robb were better set up, it's also important to recognize that thanks to online spoilers, most people knew those characters were doomed.
How do you know that?
Yeah, that's quite a thing to know, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people kept it secret.
Yeah.
Not everybody reads the books. I want to know how you know this. Like he just says things like people just know. I'm like, how do people just know? Where do you find this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, question. Maybe like it's mainly just like he doesn't get social cues. Like it's not my theory; it's somebody else's. That it's just like he's like doesn't get like he's very blunt and straightforward and like likes things to make sense and likes things very like concrete, which is it's not my theory. People have theorized that. I don't fully agree. I don't know if I agree. I would have to get somebody else's more informed opinion.
Yeah, I don't get like a lot of people makes this kind of argument. They're like, this is what these people think, and like, how do you know that? Where do you get that from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea that Ned was going to die.
Yeah,
because not everybody reads books anymore. Really, that's a very small portion of people these days.
Admittedly, there were all the people who knew the Red Wedding was coming up and decided to film their action of their roommates because they knew it would be hilarious.
Yeah.
And it still is to this day. People still react with visceral horror. Like ladies are like covering their mouths and turning away and just looking and crying while guys are just sitting there with their jaws dropped.
Within a month of starting the show. So those deaths didn't really betray people's idea of who those characters were or shatter their expectations for what the story was supposed to be.
Wrong.
Take the new Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
So they didn't actually just be the characters didn't assassinate them. Oh, if he's talking about Stannis, yeah, they butchered him. But if he's talking about like, oh, this scene with Daenerys, there's some shit I don't get it. I'm trying to like figure out what he's like. He's saying like Daenerys, oh, she. Okay, I'm falling apart here. I don't know if it's me or him.
Let's just keep going, honestly.
No, this is my stream. I get to do this whatever I want.
The Force Awakens contains scenes which bait its audience to wonder about stuff like Rey's parents or Snoke's origins. But since Disney never had a big picture plan for those plot threads, Rian Johnson decided they weren't narratively important and ditched them in The Last Jedi.
Oh my God.
This made sense for his vision, but was a bummer for fan theorists who'd spent 2 years building their own headcanon.
Oh,
okay.
So the hand's fault.
What the fuck do you even think you're saying?
Fans suck.
Yeah,
It's like,
damn.
this isn't even about fans. It's just like you set something up, you pay it off. Like, what people think is gonna happen doesn't matter.
Yeah, and also just like, yeah, I would like to hear. I'm still more interested to hear what fighting experts analysis of like why like he's like the story and the morals of the show don't appeal to him. I'd be interested to hear about that, since like I kind of don't care about the morality of the work I'm reading. I care more about whether or not it's well written in terms of it makes coherent sense and has interesting questions that aren't necessarily like morally straightforward. But
Well,
that's
I
just me.
think in some cases it is worth taking a look at the morality of a film, like in Wonder Woman 84.
Oh,
But
that one is. In that case, it's basically just how they screwed up royally to like convey the thoughts that they were trying to convey. That's my opinion on that one.
and
It's not
also
even-
it's like the whole the whole the Predator thing with Wonder Weinstein. It kind of just runs contrary to what her characterization is supposed to be, because she's supposed to be a fucking superhero.
All right, let's carry this along.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! There it goes again.
Canons around those questions. Due to its emphasis on prophecy and mystery, Game of Thrones actually engages in way more of this kind of theory baiting, with a fan community that's built on piles
Theory
of online.
baiting, or the writers kind of forget.
Well, it is in a sense theory baiting, because there is a lot of mystery in there, which I think is part of the reason why the ending is so bad. Is because the mysteries that a lot of the show were built on just
okay.
fell flat, essentially.
Okay. Okay, so it's kind of the argument that it's basically it's basically just pornography is kind of what you're going for, what you're like against.
That's
That makes sense.
yeah. I mean,
I can agree with that. Like, I totally agree with that. Like, pornography is damaging to people's brains, and has a lot of like negative side effects, almost as bad as drugs, possibly worse.
all right.
Online theory discussions. For millions, speculating about Game of Thrones was a key part of enjoying it. Trust me, as a guy who once wrote a weirdly popular fan theory about Bran possessing Jon's dead body, I know how it is.
What?
And while that
Strange
speculation
humble
was
brag.
key to bringing together a dedicated
God damn
fandom,
it! I did it again.
Strange humble brag, but okay.
Spoiler man. I like reading some of this stuff. Some of this stuff is like a time capsule.
it also led to fans taking an unwarranted sense.
Oh, I want to go back to August and April of 2019 and reading Free Folk memes back when the show was still fresh in people's minds.
Of course, it's fucking
ownership.
Reddit.
And this is the Free Folk Reddit right here, because I used to this was like a thing I would visit almost every day when the Game of Thrones season 8. Yeah.
Over the story. To get even deeper into it, various fan communities even developed vastly different headcanons and would ridicule each other over their wildly different, and as it turns out, equally incorrect expectations.
Because what we were actually given was absolutely insane.
Also, I should point out that a lot of fan theories are bunk and bullshit and stupid.
But still better.
They're still better than what we ended up with.
I mean, because like some of this stuff is kind of crazy. Like, what the fuck is this one right here?
Sansa and Jon marrying and becoming king and queen.
I don't want to.
Yeah, no, let's not do that.
So people have
incorrect expectations. So people have. Yeah. Oh, okay. We have incorrect
expectations.
Okay.
Let's back up a little bit so we have context.
Different headcanons and would ridicule each other over their wildly different, and as it turns out, equally incorrect expectations. So people have difficulty accepting that Jon's parentage is meant to subvert the secret lineage trope, revealing it to be a burden rather than a solution, or accepting that the Night King being defeated before the end is meant to reframe the Dark Lord trope.
Oh my god.
Oh. Is it too much to ask for?
So
it's like, we're gonna reframe the Dark Lord trope. Like, just do something interesting with the Night King instead.
It didn't really it just did the Dark Lord trope. It didn't reframe it at all, as far as I could see.
Yeah, they just killed the Dark Lord a little bit before the climax.
Premature ejaculation.
And also, like, the burden of becoming king. That's been done before. It's called Wheel of Time, where being the Dragon Reborn, the chosen dude who's going to save the world, is a horrible, horrible life that involves bashing heads against political idiots and a bunch of inter-country prejudices.
Oh.
It's already been done and better, and it's just there's nothing done with Jon's lineage. It's not that much of a burden. It's not that much of a burden, really. It comes in at the last minute, and it doesn't really do anything.
It's just a plot point to make Daenerys go crazy for nonsensical reasons.
As well as because he didn't want to have sex with his hot aunt.
Jeez, someone who always liked to sacrifice his things for the greater good. He couldn't sacrifice his own dignity just to
By the way, what does he really mean when he says reframe the Dark Lord trope? Like, is he talking about some specific part of it?
Right.
Yeah,
let's listen to it.
Secret lineage trope, revealing it to be a burden rather than a solution, or accepting that the Night King being defeated before the end is meant to reframe the Dark Lord trope from being an external evil to an internal consequence of the pursuit of power.
But
what?
That
makes no sense. I can't wrap my head behind that. My brain hurts. I can't process that.
Okay, an external evil into an internal
consequence of the pursuit of power.
I've consumed way too much George R. R. Martin and Joe Abercrombie, it seems.
Can I go back and
Let's just keep going.
The Night King being defeated before the end is meant to reframe the Dark Lord trope from being an external evil to an internal consequence of the pursuit of power.
Internal. I don't even know.
What does he even mean? I have no fucking clue.
Okay, because what was funny.
Let me try to dissect
please
the word
interpret
salad.
stupid, please.
Okay, well, yeah, it's stupid word salad, which is worse. Basically, what he's saying is instead of the Night King being an external evil like Sauron, it's more like an internal consequence, meaning that it is the Dark Lord is more of a
corrupting influence?
A corrupting influence, yeah, of the pursuit of power, yeah. I think that's what he's saying.
It's like the thing is, Lord of the Rings already did this with the titular ring.
Still don't
not the titular ring, but the ring on the cover.
Even the way you explain it, it still doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, basically, it's
no, because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's meant to be.
It doesn't make any sense, and he's using a bunch of fancy wording to cover it up.
An external evil to an external consequence of the pursuit of power.
If I think about this any longer, my head might explode. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Or accepting that Jaime's story is an exploration of the limits of redemption arc.
I would disagree
the limits of redemption arcs.
I would strongly disagree with that point.
He is definitely not in the limits of a redemption arc.
He is trying to do the best he can. Admittedly, like, even from season one, he's saying we could settle this right here, right now. No, but more people have to die. You fight for the Starks, I fight for the Lannisters. Swords, knives, ives, teeth. Choose your weapons, and we'll sell it right here. So, and then in season 3, it's more firmly contextualized because he says, if you had to watch while thousands of men burned alive and you had to kill your own father, would you have done it? And then, like, at River Run, he asks the Blackflesh to peacefully surrender so that no people have to die. And then he just presses on Edmure's buttons in order to get a peaceful, quick solution.
It's like, what is... Like, is the limit of Jaime's redemption arc supposed to be his toxic and abusive and co-reliant relationship with Cersei? Because if so, he was kind of done with her.
Yeah.
Then he just
went
heel
back
turned and went back.
For no legit reason. After he seemed like he's like saying she's kind of insane, especially after the wildfire. Like, he should be seeing Ares. Like, he should be either wanting to stay far away from her or kill her, like he killed Ares.
I mean, you can argue that, okay, his situation with Ares was different from his situation with her, but the thing is that doesn't matter. Like, I mean, it's already stupid, like plot-induced stupidity in season 7, but they kind of lampshade it by having him walk away by the end, because the way I see all this is he realizes that she is a terrible, selfish person and is becoming a destructive influence, and he says, no, I'm fucking done. I'm gonna fight to protect people from not all getting killed.
You know, for the longest time, I always thought I was just too dumb to understand these kind of things. But then I realized that they're just not saying anything at all.
You took the black pill. You took the black pill, my friend. It's a great place to, or / white pill. It's a great place to be perfectly honest.
I know, because like when I used to listen to like certain reviews and reactions, like, am I just stupid, or did I just not understand anything what you're saying? Like, holy shit! Because I thought I was being dumb right now. Like, am I stupid for not understanding anything he's talking about?
No,
he is being stupid for thinking that this stupid word salad covers up all the bullshit.
Yeah. I know. I'm on this stream right now, and I feel really dumb because I can't think of anything to say because it's really stupid. But I thought I was just being stupid. But
by the way, he has a video called Jaime Lannister: The Limits of a Redemption Arc, and we're probably gonna have to react to that eventually.
Probably.
Oh, let's move on. My brain is about to explode.
We can finish this.
But we also have to bear in mind that Martin came up with this stuff in the 90s, well before the internet had developed into what it is today. So we can't blame him for not expecting fans to come to the conclusions that they did.
But it's fan entitlement that causes.
Wait. George doesn't read fan theories.
He doesn't care.
No.
He knows that that'll either he knows that that'll either contaminate his own perception, or if he reacts positively to something, he'll like accidentally draw attention and accidentally spoil something. And he's about to say something really stupid.
But it's fan entitlement that causes
literally 100% of, let's see,
something.
let's back up and then let him speak.
Jamie's story is an exploration of the limits of redemption arcs.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have to bear in mind that Martin came up with this stuff in the 90s, well before the internet had developed into what it is.
All right, so what does he mean by that? Does he mean the end of Jamie's arc, or
that basically like the conclusions would be different than Martin? He's making a giant assumption in that this is Martin's vision.
And also, I mean, I guess we're gonna go further into his Jamie video, but how does Jamie's story explore the limits of a redemption arc, aside from his entire redemption arc getting shafted 2 episodes before the end?
I mean, how was that? Yeah, like how was that explaining the how is that like it's not even pushing the limits, like because he was not even that awful and like at the long term, because there was like good reasons why he did the things he did, or else he would be fucked. His family would have been killed if they would have found out what Tim and Cersei would have been doing. And
shall we keep going?
Yeah, it's like,
yeah,
what the limits of redemption? Like what?
Today. So we can't blame him for not expecting fans to come to the conclusions that they did.
But it's fan entitlement that causes literal
fan entitlement. Look at that.
Well, let's go. Let's keep going.
Yeah, that's probably Google.
Yeah,
that's probably Google, not him.
Really 100% of misunderstanding being blamed on the writer.
Oh,
really?
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. It's fan entitlement. It's 100% misunderstanding being blamed on the writers. No, 100% the blame is on the writers.
If the writer failed to articulate the ideas that he was trying to present, it is the writer's fault. It is not misunderstanding.
What writers, please?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Since
Yes, certainly not these 3 morons.
3? Oh, Brian
Cogman.
I kind of forgot about the 3rd.
Yeah, there are others who've written episodes too, but it's all under the aegis of the 2D chaps.
Yeah.
All right.
No point are most people accepting that they might have been wrong about anything. This is because people have projected their own ideas of where the story was headed onto the world and characters, and interpreted.
Why do you think that is the case? Why do you think people have certain ideas for where the world and characters and story is going?
Because they think
Maybe
there's
it's because it's actually well founded in the text.
Because they think things will make sense?
Because they think things will make sense, yeah.
Because characters and everything based on those expectations of things making sense, reality, physics, characters and their ideas and their motivations, that sort of thing.
There are. No. RLM, Red Letter Media is hit and miss. They're not like the sequel trilogy. Like
they're not as bad as the sequels, no.
No. Like sometimes they'll have like a weird take, like Jay's Joker take.
All right. I wanna.
Basically, I'm saying that people tend to forgive a story that's sloppily done if it gives them what they wanted. But those same people...
I can forgive a show that's sloppily done if it has a satisfying ending. If it's sloppy but not terrible, I think that's the thing I want to clarify.
Yeah, I mean, I expected sloppy. After season 7, I expected sloppy.
But not like this.
Yeah, I thought it was sloppy but satisfying, because presumably back then people were saying it's going to have the same ending as the books. And
how do you know that?
I should point out, like, he makes some incredibly sweeping generalizations about the quality of, let's say, season 6 when compared to season 8. It's like he says, okay, they're both bad, but one is praised because it gave people what they wanted. Like, it's nowhere near that simple.
I don't think that RLM is the reason for the sequel trilogy. I would strongly disagree with that statement.
I mean, the whole pop culture osmosis of how bad the prequels were, which is kind of rooted in RLM, that might have been a reason for why, like, the mindset that they went into the sequels with. But yeah, I can't see how Red Letter Media caused the sequel trilogy. It's like Disney absolutely wanted money out of this IP, and that's why they made movies in the first place.
And the audience had been complaining about this at certain points before RLM. RLM
And,
kind of codified them.
If we may get back a little bit on topic, he also makes sweeping generalizations about fan reactions too.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dumbass and Dipshit and how they say, oh, the Battle of the Bastards was universally praised by everybody. Like, no, it wasn't. Quite a few people noticed there's some gaping plot logic holes.
I mean, I'm like, what the blazes is going on? Why are all these people charging John and he's not dead?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Get hypercritical if a story subverts their expectations in a way that's upsetting.
Shut up!
Which brings me to my first ever YouTube call out.
I'm sure a lot of you have seen Think Story's How Game of Thrones Should Have Ended.
Yeah.
In this video, Think Story
haven't.
recites his fan fiction of how the story should have played out.
I've watched it
abandoning
because of this video, and it's okay. I think it's fine. It's not bad. It makes more sense than the ending we got.
Subversive and instead just playing out all the most popular fan theories. Jaime kills Cersei. Bran gets stuck in the Night King's memories. Jon makes the big sacrifice and is remembered as a hero king. And Queen Dany carries forward his legacy. And of course, this video was...
That sounds better. I will take that.
That sounds a lot more logical than what we got. Because I probably wouldn't take all of it. I mean, I haven't seen it, so... But, like, this guy doesn't do... Meaning, Yezin doesn't really do any sort of analysis of the video beyond... Oh, it's hopeful fanfiction, it recounts all popular fan theories. Like, if that works, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it, even as is. that's like how much, like, yeah, I'll take that.
Wildly popular, even though it ditches the tough questions Martin asks about war and power, and just offers...
It's not like Season 8 doesn't do that, too.
I don't know what the message of Season 8 is. Like, wars...
There isn't one. There is none. Themes of our 8th grade book reports, remember?
No, I'm trying to think of, like, if I don't know who David Benioff is as a person, like, what would I get from Season 8?
Well, look at Tyrion's speech in at the end. Well, evil Dany killed these people, and they were evil men, so we thought it was good, but it was bad because we cheered her on. We were so stupid because we thought she was good.
I love Lindsay Ellis's take that she said she went way too woke, and so she had to be put down by Old Yeller because these guys literally believe in nothing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hilarious. So, and it kind of just like, yeah, they kind of don't believe in anything.
By the way, he says the tough questions Martin asks about war and power, not Benioff. Because Benioff doesn't ask any tough questions.
Benioff had full creative control over this show during season 5. Like that's not up for debate. Martin left and has kind of done barely anything.
Yeah, they keep trotting out Martin. Yeah, they keep trotting out Martin to defend stuff which Martin had nothing to do with.
Yeah, like the Shireen, the Ain bit.
You know, at some point, Jaehaerys just had to give up on Sarah, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's carry on. Damn it! I did the fucking thing again. All right.
There's a conformist fan fiction about heroes saving the world from Ice Thanos. So Think Story, thank you for being such a perfect example of mediocrity.
Oh, and what is this?
The thing is, I'd say that generic mediocrity is infinitely better than subversive trash.
Thank you for being a perfect example of mediocrity. Oh, thank you. I would rather have that.
If this is mediocrity, then what does it say about season 8?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even subversive trash. It's just trash.
It's just trash.
Valerian, I am offended.
It's also not random.
On
It's also
Trash's
not random.
behalf.
It's also not. It's not even like subversive. Subversive actually like implies some measure of thought. It's just random.
It's just randomness.
It's not even subversive trash. It's just simple rubbish.
It's just a piece of shit.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
Well, shit doesn't have a point. It's kind of mushy.
Yeah.
I bring this up because it exposes the entitlement of fandom.
Oh,
Like-
okay. All right.
I bring this exposes the entitlement of fandom. How is it entitled that we expect a basic standard of quality?
Yeah,
And, like,
we're entitled just to have, some semblance of an ending. Jeez, thanks.
We're entitled to logic.
and also just
Yeah.
like an actually like somebody who actually understands the technicals of screenwriting, who
By the way, there is a comment that I once left on a community post by Dragon Demands. It's apparently been deleted, but I was able to find my old comment. I'm just going to read from that because I think that's a perfect response. When people try to shut criticism down as ungrateful or mean-spirited or whatever, it's almost like they think that these things were handed out for free. People collectively paid billions of dollars for this show. They have a right to feel slighted and let down by such transparently and brazenly terrible and insulting content. There's this pervasive idea, propagated by channels like Cinema Wins, that thinking positively about film is somehow inherently better than not doing so. This is not only a baseless claim, it inherently stifles constructive thinking. By investigating the quality of a work and observing that it was bad, why it was bad, and how it ended up as such, that knowledge can be used to improve this stuff in the future.
And the problem with Game of Thrones is that the reason why it's so bad is so asinine that nobody would ever think of it. They just wanted to show off the actors' faces and pander them for Emmys. There is no deeper reason for it. It's kind of insane.
It's always funny to think about the actual reasons why they did things, and he's just coming up with bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, there's the deeper meaning and the themes and the this and the that, and we're like, and David Benioff's like, these faces, these performances, herb derp.
Yeah, it's kind of like when people can't separate between what's in the story and why it was written that way. It's like, oh, do you really expect Superman to not mess up even slightly when he's first fighting the Kryptonians in Man of Steel? It's like you could have very easily written that scene differently.
Yes.
Can you expect him not to do it in his first major battle? That he wouldn't just destroy an entire city,
Yeah.
Yeah, or David Benioff will be things like, it just didn't feel right to do X.
Or it felt like the thing that he would do in the moment, so we did it, and creatively it made sense to us, so shut up. Shut up, little pearl clutcher. Even though like she's asking pretty legit questions.
All right, let's carry on.
I enjoyed Endgame as much as the next guy.
I mean, after season 8, I did too.
Yeah, even though Endgame is
very messy.
It is very messy and kind of does a little bit of damage to Cap's character, and it does some damage to Iron Man's character where he becomes really selfish and says, "No, I want all of this stuff. I don't care if other people like lose all their stuff."
And also, it very much. Well, first it hurts its own plot with the time travel and the 5-year time skip. And then it makes it really, really difficult to continue the story.
Yeah, especially after they kill Thanos. I'm like, well, I mean, that's like... Anyways, click.
But not everything has to be Endgame. Not
I would
every
be
story.
Not every story has to make sense, you know.
I would be happier if a lot of things were not Endgame. I would be much happier if a lot of things were not Endgame.
I would be happier if Game of Thrones season 8 was Endgame, because at least that would be better.
Yeah.
It's like there are a lot of problems in Endgame, but you know, when you watch the portal scene, for all the problems that it introduces, it's like, okay, at least you can get a lot of subjective enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, it's nice spectacle, and at least you have characters kind of behaving like themselves with only a few little tismy moments like Fat Thor.
Story has to please the mainstream. It's not what Game of Thrones was ever supposed to be. In a world where stories so often fail due to corporate greed or a lack of creativity.
Do not bring up Justice League. Justice League is infinitely superior to the Snyder Cut. At least
Justice League, Snyder Cut, all of DCEU is better than Game of Thrones, you piece of shit. I would rather watch those movies.
I don't know about that actually. Man of Steel is really
Man of Steel
awful.
is really awful, yeah.
Yeah,
And
but man,
Justice League
hey,
is-
hold on. I would rather watch Man of Steel than Game of Thrones, because holy shit.
Well, it's shorter. It's
Yes.
shorter for one thing. And you know, Man of Steel only starts the universe at the worst foot possible. It doesn't ruin
It only
anything
destroys
good.
Superman. And
And
it
then,
only destroys a couple of characters. It doesn't destroy like an entire cast of characters over 8 years of a TV show. Man of Steel is like, whatever, that's terrible. Moving on. That's like one movie.
May I call attention to something in the chat? It's really annoying because a writer's instinct legitimately exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, there are some times where I've thought of cool things that I would like to put in my book, and then I just like, no.
That makes no sense.
That would be a little bit much. Even with kind of the semi-soft magic system I have in this, I shouldn't put this in because it doesn't quite make sense with the narrative I've created. I may do it in another book, but I'm not going to do it here.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Becca has another comment. Gritty nihilistic fantasy is pandering to the masses. Like, it's a trend. Don't be a dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody likes nihilism.
Which is true. Like, dark gritty fantasy is a trend.
Yeah.
But
most
not
of it's
nihilistic fantasy.
Prince of Thorns is fairly nihilistic.
I mean, look at Lord of the Rings. That is like the most hopeful.
Yeah,
goal.
and it's the most popular thing now still. And Amazon is probably going to make it more popular, but not for the right reasons.
Well, it could help me boost up my channel, so I mean, more content.
Die horribly.
I know Wheel of Time is probably going to boost mine since, like, me and Wisp on another channel are probably going to be pretty angry. Like, I had just a Discord call, and I'm so sad I didn't record it, where I showed him the casting. He just lost his mind. He was just so furious at the casting for Wheel of Time. He's like,
what's so wrong with it?
He just says, like, that does not look like the character at all. They are just casting for like woke points.
Ooh.
Like that's why he didn't like it. One of the things he hated was like, why is this like innkeeper's daughter like thin as a twig? What is wrong with this casting? And why are these like,
Anyways.
European characters black?
Let's get this trash off my screen.
Yeah.
Or pandering too hard to a particular demographic. Game of Thrones is actually being punished for the
Well,
opposite.
at least he
It's being punished for keeping to the artistic
at
vision
least he
of
takes
its
pot
author.
shots at
No,
Kevin.
it's not keeping to the artistic vision of its author.
Yeah, that is BS. No.
It's like if you
What
have a
artistic
show,
vision?
like if you make something that's inspired by Martin's books and it makes no sense, then yeah, you're already going against his artistic vision because he's someone who cares a lot about that.
That's why he's
Artistic
taking.
vision.
That's why he's taking years to write the next book. But that could also be because he's lost passion, is bored with it.
Mr. Benioff would not know artistic vision if it screamed in his face, to put it politely.
Yeah.
Artistic vision, really. Artistic vision to be absolutely nonsense and just random incoherent bullshit. No, that's not George, I'm afraid. Moving on.
The worst George could be accused of is plot cul-de-sacs and tangents and making up way too many characters for a streamlined narrative.
Yep.
And way too much food.
Way too many descriptions of food and clothes.
Too much gross sex stuff.
See, that is why he's taking him so long. He has to write down everything people eat. Like if we would have cut out all the food scenes, we would have Dream of Spring already.
Anyway, let's keep going with this stupid video.
Part 3. What if I'm wrong?
You are wrong. Fact.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shut
so
up.
I've made some harsh claims. I've said that a lot of people's reactions are being driven by their attachment to an incorrect idea of what the story is. I believe
And you
the
have
story
done a very poor job of proving that.
Yeah. Let's keep
Story
going.
was always going to have
Hey, I'm the
Jaime
one
choose
who
to
has
die
the
with
control
Cersei,
here.
Dany burn King's Landing, Jon exiled to the Night's Watch, and Bran chosen as king. That's the story Martin was always.
How do you know that? That's
do you
only
know
an
that?
assumption.
Like
People
there are a lot of claims going around by both David Benioff and George Martin about what the show is in relation to the books.
People just
And
assume this shit.
They are really, really inconsistent. You can't really say anything this definitive.
People always say this shit every time you look at a review or like a response or a review, like Angry Joe and anybody else ever. We're always like, well, this probably the ending, or this will be the ending of the books. I'm like, how do you know that? Like, it's some fact.
Like I think they're probably just kind of, they don't understand like D&D 2D like we do, because we've been actively like researching their creative process and why they made the decisions they did, and
the creative process in air quotes.
The creative process consists of waking up in the middle of the night and saying, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if Arya killed the Night King?" Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, the process of their coke-addled brainstorming sessions, their coke and rum-addled brainstorming sessions. Let's go with that.
Where it's just David Benioff and Dan Weiss in a room, just passing two pages. They're just like, all right, you get this half of the season, I do the other, and we'll just write this mess.
But yeah, the problem here is just the fact that they are assuming that D&D are ethical people, and they are not.
They are far from that.
It's been
let's keep going.
Yeah,
No. This is
going.
my show. I tell who gets when we continue.
You're our sucker, White.
Yeah.
We still love you,
telling,
though.
and for the most part, anything else would have been untrue to it. But
Okay, hold on.
and for the man chosen as king. That's the story Martin was always telling, and for the most part, anything else would have been untrue to it.
That is a massive fucking assumption. This whole thing
Like,
is just an assumption.
have this guy ever heard of The Handmaid's Tale? Like,
apparently, The Handmaid's Tale is pretty good, but it's past the book, and
yeah,
she made a
only
sequel
the
after
first,
book.
only the first season is adapted from a book.
And then they just kind of, it was so critically acclaimed that they decided, oh well, let's do more.
Yep.
And apparently, it's pretty good. I haven't seen it, so I don't have much of an opinion other than like it factually has passed to the book. And isn't that show technically better like than Game of Thrones by a long shot? Even though like they have this similar like obstacle that they need to overcome.
Not to mention, they started going way off book before they passed the books.
That is
That is
very
true.
Yeah.
Season 5 did happen, sadly.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But what if I'm wrong? Wrong about what's driving people's anger, or wrong about the story Martin is telling, or wrong
What
about
about
what's
Martin?
good?
It's not Martin.
What about everyone else? All the other people who think they know what's good.
Though my channel has become most widely known for predicting that Bran would be king, I have to admit that over the years I've had a...
Oh yeah, he has admitted that the way he feels like that is because he got his ending, something like that.
Also, the timeline of it seems like he read the leaks because they're nearly the theory is 1-for-1 the leaks.
I don't know the timeline of his whole thing.
It was just before the finale. It was a little bit before the finale, and the leaks. His theory matches the leaked plot of the series. That was 1-for-1 accurate, and his thing is 1-to-1 accurate to the show's ending. So,
Which, with all the randomness, it seems pretty impossible to predict without reading the leaks.
Yep.
All right, we're almost finished.
a ton of theories, and most of them ended up being wrong. Yet every time,
it's because most people can't predict insanity. So
yeah,
you know,
I was so sure that I'd figured things out, that I knew what was good and what the story was supposed to be. Truth is, I've always been a little too certain that I'm right about things, and that's something that I've always had to work on.
Oh, yeah, I was certainly right. I was certainly wrong about one thing, that physics would apply and logic would persist. So
There's also the thing of we know a lot about their production and their writing and how they came up with things from that frickin' book, and also from their commentaries, which you had available to you by the time this came out. Like,
I hope Mahler reads that Fire Cannot Kill a Dragon book.
I don't think he has time. He doesn't often do that. He mostly mostly just commentaries on movies and edits videos. I don't know if he has time to do that.
Seems like a pretty
Well,
big...
if any of us can get those screenshots to him, I mean, he'd probably show them in his video eventually.
Maybe.
And maybe so do a lot of us. And if you notice, that was a big part of the message of Game of Thrones there at the end. That maybe in the process of being so certain that you know what's good, you aren't doing anyone any good. Maybe people are out here pointing out plot holes while missing one of the key messages the show tried to deliver.
There is no
Messages are for 8th grade book reports.
There's no message. Shut up. Pardon my language. Shut up.
So I actually brought that up to Yezin. Guess what his response was?
What?
That was taken out of context. They were drunk at the time.
Oh,
They
okay.
totally don't.
So what? So
They're
the
always
fuck
drunk.
what? They're always drunk, yeah.
It's just honestly, you're usually more honest when you're drunk than not.
It's a good excuse. It's like, well, they were drunk. That's all. You're just taking them out of context. Okay.
Like a reporter was badgering them for a quote, and they just shot at, and Benioff just shot off. Themes are for 8th grade book reports, which are being asked about like intentionality of the series, like what it's trying to do. It's like themes are for 8th grade book reports.
In vino veritas.
So funny. It is so funny.
All they cared about was these faces, these performances.
Yep, and we have audio evidence of that. So get buggered with a cactus.
Wow. Not even 2 cactuses.
That it's destructive to be so stuck in our own perspective that we stop trying to understand.
Shut up.
I mean,
we're so stuck in it. We're trying to understand. What is to understand? No, I know what this guy is like. This guy is just so happy he got his theory right that he's like, oh, you guys and your theories. I think that's essentially the whole thing. Because I don't know, maybe not. Who cares?
Does this kind of backlash really benefit anyone?
Yeah,
you know, probably.
Our channels, our YouTube channels,
and it also benefits people who, and it also benefits in saying, let's have some scrutiny on this. Oh, this show was run like a frat house. Honestly, there are probably frat houses that are more organized than this show.
A frat house masquerading as a film school, masquerading as a legitimate film production.
I see the trees. They're running away. See them in the background. Oh, look, there's Drogon too. He doesn't even look that big.
No, he doesn't.
He looks really tiny in this.
Because like this perspective doesn't even look like he's that far away.
Not. I think this need to direct all of our anger at a particular person when we feel let down tends to miss the bigger picture.
No, we are actually quite on the mark this time.
Honestly, people should have gotten more mad.
Yeah, if people would have known.
The thing is, you know, the whole focusing it on one person. Like, we've read through the production shit for Fire Cannot Kill a Dragon.
For
Dragon Demands has combed through all this shit to see, okay, who's actually to blame. And the answer is pretty clear when you have this information.
It is clear that it's David Benioff who was sabotaging it because he doesn't know how to run it. As well as he's just an impulsive and immature person, just as a rule.
All right, let's
finish
picture.
Oh, this
with Game of Thrones, it's Benioff and Weiss. Even though there are much bigger structural issues with adapting A Song of Ice and Fire into a television format.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Especially not to Benioff and Weiss.
So especially not to Benioff and Weiss.
All right, but he's going to say these things and never explain it.
This is a fancy way of saying it was really hard. So the structural issues of adapting A Song of Ice and Fire into television is more of the problem than Benioff and Weiss's utter lack of skills.
Like, what are you talking about? They skipped so much shit. They didn't even need to do it.
They cut out most of Tyrion's story in Dance with Dragons, including Fagon, who seems like he's an integral part of Winds of Winter.
Considering that he's invading the Seven Kingdoms, and John Connington is probably going to take Storm's End in the next book, like, yeah, he is definitely important. You don't introduce that kind of character and just brush him off like it's nothing.
And also
like Rickon.
And also it's
like Rickon.
And it's also like perfect timing because like Westeros has basically been severely weakened by war. It's the perfect time to go in for another Blackfire rebellion.
And for a certain army of the dead to really fuck things up.
Yep.
Let's also remember that John Connington is the one who's triggered by bells.
Yeah.
Bells. Brrr.
Pretty
What?
much.
Bells? I
Yep.
thought you... Okay. Stop
Yeah,
triggering me.
because and also like grayscale isn't exactly good for your sanity, as far as I recall.
Yeah, it gets to your brain.
Yep. So once it gets there, and he goes and he sees the bell, hears the bells going off, he'll be thinking of the bells, and no matter what happens, he'll probably scream out, "Kill everybody" to the Golden Company. And because the Golden Company are morally depraved and have no morals, they will probably murder everything in King's Landing. And in order to steal everything that's not nailed down.
And I wonder if Danny would probably get a blame for this too, because she's part of the same family apparently, as you know, because Aegon, that's his army.
That might be why she burns. It might be why she burns down King's Landing, is to get rid of the Golden Company.
After they killed everybody for the most part.
Yeah.
Let's go anyway.
You know, hold on, quiet.
Targs are evil.
That actually might be the context. What if, like, instead of her just literally going insane and burning women and children and everybody, if she was actually just burning a city full of fucking mercenaries. Like, holy shit, that is a drastically different context.
Show.
So many different contexts that could have made more sense, and they went for the most asinine random choice.
All right, let's.
Like, I'm an amateur writer, and I don't have structural issues like this.
Yep, the show. Logic. What is logic? Can I smoke it?
Yeah.
In the chat.
Yeah, let's keep going. We got 5 minutes left.
George R. R. Martin himself splits the story in half for books 4 and 5. A strategy which would have been impossible to do with a television.
No!
No, you could have combined the 2 books into one, because book 4 and 5 had already come out by the time season 2 aired.
And
yeah, I mean, season, you don't have to do like an entire book a season. Like, you could split 2 seasons to do 1 book.
You just have
They
to
did
find
that with a Storm of Swords, remember?
You could just find a client, plausible place for the show to have a nice climax in episode 9, and then just keep going.
Or they can do what you call creative freedom and just make up a climax that wasn't in the books. You know, do shit.
Yeah, like Valyria or admittedly, like, you could cut a lot of fat out of Dance of Dragons and Feast for Crows, but, like, you know what? You know what could be a good, like, ending for season 5?
Huh.
The Battle of the High Tower.
Huh.
Just do that.
Nah, I'm more on the Kingsmoot.
Actually, yeah, that is a very good point.
Yeah, because
And
the battle by Old Town with Euron probably shouldn't happen until way later.
Yeah, probably should wait for that for season 6.
And
just
I
have,
am
all the battles that season.
I am a sucker for like destroyed and old dead cities kind of landscape things. So I would have liked to see what was that one that a young Griff and Tyrion were going through on that boat?
Nice
Koyan?
Crayon. Sorry,
I would have liked to see that on screen.
Yeah, the Sorrows.
Yeah.
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 With the giant turtles and shit.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Show. Also, he throws in a bunch more characters, and he's spent the last 8 years writing the 6th book. Meanwhile, D&D had to not only
Okay, here's something. You can do the whole books, and you could have stretched it out to like 13 seasons. So if we were doing like 13 seasons and they were trying to adapt and stretch out the length of the show so we can finish book 6.
And also, let your actors have a rest. Let your actors have a rest.
Yeah. Or you can, because even if we were doing a season like every year or every other year, the show would still be running right now.
Yes, and it would still be making money, I think.
Yeah,
And,
I agree.
You know, I am getting depressed by thinking about this. Let's continue. I don't want to think about the show actually still being good and running.
Condense the story, but do it in a fraction of the time.
They did not have to condense the story. They could have
And
actually made it.
they didn't need to do it in a fraction of the time either. They could have had a gap year or two or three.
And also, like, they rushed out that script really quickly. Like, they had the table read right after season.
Yeah, it was like 3 months after season 7 aired.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm like they could have done like a Walking Dead thing where they could have had like a whole like half a season of like Daenerys in that destroyed city or something, and they could have just drawn that out a bit more. Like you know, before they went to Karth, they could have had like some drama. Like, oh no, can they make it to? Can they find another civilization before they starve to death? Or some shit like that. Like, there was so much things you could have done to prolong this.
Or actually accurately adapt Karth rather than
Yeah.
something up that made less sense.
Turning her into a crying bitch lady child. I didn't like how they did that to her character there.
Yeah, and Emilia Clarke doesn't necessarily pull off that kind of acting very well. At least not at that point in her career.
I mean, who could have? I mean, that's like their direction.
That's true.
The lack of direction. All right.
Yeah, let's keep going.
People called them out on rushing the story, but they went one season beyond their initial plan and
that was awful. Can you imagine? This is not a praise, you imbecile. Like, holy fuck.
Let's just take a gap year or something, and you can work on hashing out a proper script.
A script.
Because like Game of Thrones, like I'm thinking about Walking Dead and like how they fucking prolonged that show so fucking long, and I'm like thinking they could have done
at this point.
They could have done something similar to that. They could have had like some like minor baddie that some of the characters had to get through. You know, just focus on like one continent per season, or like sometimes
young Griff.
Yeah.
Phagon. That's a perfect antagonist. That's a perfect filler antagonist. Same with Euron.
Or we could have like a prequel, like season 6 or something.
Have flashbacks where we actually delve into more of the mechanics of what happened during Robert's Rebellion.
Oh my!
You don't even need to turn that into seasons. You can splice it in with the normal stuff to break up the monotony.
Precisely.
Well, like the whole goal, what I'm trying to do is like stretch out the time of the show to make it longer, so George can finish the books. Essentially, what I was getting at.
Bye, Becca. By the way,
he'll never finish those books. He'll never finish those books. I honestly find I know the Dragon has a theory that we can expect Winds of Winter by 2023 when the Broadway musical play comes up.
2020 fucking 3.
I don't.
Are you fucking kidding?
At this point, I'm kind of I don't find that necessarily laughable, but I am skeptical.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
There is small hope that Winds will at least come out, and that will probably be the last thing we'll ever see.
Yep. Let's keep going.
I don't want to continue.
Spent an entire 2 years on the final 6 episodes.
And look what that brought us.
No, that's factually wrong. Sorry. They spent 3 months on the last 6 episodes. They spent 6
months.
No.
Let's take it for his word, Dunn. They spent 2 years on this last season. And look what that brought us. It's nothing. Bullshit. Absolute fucking trash. It's a dumpster fire.
Yeah, and they just spent but most of the time is basically just the filming of the construction of the practical sets that they didn't use just because Benioff wanted to walk around them and stroke his ego.
Hmm.
They made mistakes, yes, but they did so because they had a hard.
No, they had not a fucking hard ass job. You absolute fucking
Right.
idiot.
Spoiler
You
alert:
ignorant
writing
fool.
Game of Thrones is very hard, and they didn't even try.
Writing for Game. No, you ignorant fool. You puts no research to anything. Writing for Game of Thrones isn't that hard.
You just do things.
They wrote that script on a fucking piece of toilet paper in the bathroom.
Yeah, this was definitely a first draft.
They factually did not have a writer's room. That's not up for debate. They have admitted this on camera that they did not have a writer's room.
Spoiler
alert. They kept filming the same scene over and over again, which is maybe one reason why it took so long.
Writing Game of Thrones is very hard. Yeah, Danny kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet. So fucking hard.
That must have been that must have been really difficult to come up with that idea.
Oh yeah, Euron just shoots Rhaegal out of the sky from a mile away. That was such a hard scene to write.
And then he auto cannons the entire fleet.
Oh yeah, those fucking railguns just tear right through those with those fucking cardboard ships.
Oh
fuck
my
those things are made
god.
out of.
This
Their
show's
job.
so bad.
Alternatively, with The Last Jedi, everyone's villain was Rian Johnson, despite there
Because
being
that was
much
Rian
bigger
Johnson.
structural issues with the way Disney brought back Star Wars. Yet the backlash over The Last
Yeah.
Force Awakens sucked, yes. But that does not absolve Rian Johnson from making something that was worse.
Because you could still like have a bad movie, but like, hey, I tried my best. No, Rian Johnson's an absolute asshole. He's a fucking
I mean, 90% of the first draft made it into the final script. Like,
It's literally a long chase scene. The whole fucking movie is.
slow-mo car chase.
Yeah.
Jedi didn't push Disney to re-examine the broader problems with their trilogy. It just bullied some people and pushed them back to J.J. Abrams.
Oh, okay. That's simplifying everything. Moving on. We already covered this.
Whose idea of a Star Wars movie was just a retelling of A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, fan backlash
Only
didn't stop
worse.
the milking of Star Wars. It just invited more shameless pandering.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of an obvious statement, but television and film is largely driven by the market. And so what gets made will typically be what can reliably turn a profit on
Who
account of
gives a
just how
shit?
much goes into shows and movie reboots and adaptations. When we punish stories that try to be subversive,
Game of Thrones was not trying to be subversive. It was only these faces, these performances. That's all they cared about.
It's not a story. Shut up. And we're not punishing it. We're judging it. We're critically judging it. We're allowed to do that.
Yeah, and we're also saying that like you set out with these goals and you wildly failed, as well as you abused and mistreated your casting crew to a degree that I'm pretty sure is illegal.
And can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Or
In
land you in
lawsuits.
jail.
Or prison. Because I'm pretty sure that weapon smuggling is a prison offense, not a jail offense.
So
Alright.
basically, what Yesen's point boils down to,
Oh,
it is
it's-
subversive, so we should celebrate it.
Guys, remember this scene? Look at these two guys.
implicitly telling studios to keep
Oh, I'm on
playing
fire. Hey, how are you doing?
safe. So, for better or worse, I appreciate when people have the courage to try something different.
Oh, look at that explosive fire. That's totally not
Courage to
wildfire
try
repurposed.
something
Oh, yeah.
different.
Is I remember when people got so upset over WandaVision's finale being so subversive? Yeah, me neither, because it wasn't.
Oh,
And people hated that because it turned into regular Marvel stuff.
Oh, this is such a TLJ thing. I wasn't even paying attention to the story. I was looking at the fire exploding everything in the background.
courage to try something different is such a bad.
That is not an argument.
Yeah,
It's also
remember
not
that
even-
one George R. R. Martin clip that I showed you on the last stream? Like, you could have aliens show up. Like that. This is basically the same thing.
Yeah. Only it would actually be just kind of make more sense if it was aliens, because it would kind of prove Preston Jacobs' theory of A Song of Ice and Fire being full sci-fi, and rather than fantasy.
Yeah. This is such an excuse for the. It's like he's trying to come up with excuses for the writers. Oh, it's hard to do something different. They weren't even trying to do that in the first place. But if they were, it's not an excuse that they failed miserably.
They were doing these things on a whim.
No, let's pretend in this fantasy world that they were doing what he was saying. They failed miserably.
Like, admittedly, like
Yep.
I don't necessarily like keep. Well, I don't like do multiple drafts. I just do the same document over and over. But I make sure that I keep, like, I edit while I'm writing and carefully think through what I'm writing before I write it, so that I don't have to do a lot of major edits later. It's the Evan Winters principle, where he front loads all of the work rather than
I
doing
do
it
something
later.
similar too.
All right.
We need more different. Frankly, we need.
No,
need more
we don't need more of this.
We need more ethical, definitely.
We need more that
don't need
makes.
more.
We need more things that make sense.
Oh,
We
what
need
is
more
this?
weird.
Did he just say we need more? Pardon me, but did we just say? Did he just say we need more different? Is that what he just said?
Yes.
Doesn't it depend on what the difference, wherein the difference consists?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so done with this.
The freedom to make my own mistakes was all I ever wanted.
The freedom of almost killing my cast, it was all I wanted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine trying to equate David Benioff to Mance Raider.
Yeah, Mance
Which
Raider
brings me
has
back to the
an ethical
petition
core.
and maybe
David
my
Benioff
most
does not.
controversial point. In a recent interview, actor Nikolai
It's not an actual petition to get the shit remade. It was a point. It was a message. You're reading too much into this, like a bunch of Game of Thrones people who think
We're
Littlefinger
really,
was still alive.
really mad. Who are really like, even the guy who started the petition was just like, I did not expect it to get this big. I just made it as for like the catharsis of just like seeing how many people hated the show, and a lot of people did. A lot of people did.
Oscar Waldo joked that the final season of Game of Thrones
A lot of
would be
people who
remade.
hated it did not
Plus, the
sign the
million people who signed the petition could all agree on an ending.
And while he makes a great point about how it's impossible to appease every
Oh, okay. Here we go.
More of
Hanging
this
out there,
shit.
I do want to challenge his point just a little bit.
Because I actually think it would have been easy to make an ending that was better received than the one we got.
Yes.
Which is actually why David Benioff
yes,
and D.B.
he's right
Weiss
there.
deserve some credit.
What?
It would have
No,
been easy
what?
for them to abandon Martin's vision and
Going through with stuff like King Bran or having Jon kill Dany, knowing how many people would hate it, took a lot of guts. I strongly disagree with that.
Okay, so let's back up a little here. He says it would be easy to make an ending which was better received, which is why I think the gutsy decision should be respected.
That's no. Abandon Martin's
That
vision.
is a complete non sequitur.
Also, abandon Martin's vision. They've already abandoned Martin's vision. What are you talking about?
He keeps
They
trotting out Martin.
abandoned Martin's vision like the moment they started being completely illogical.
He keeps trotting out Martin as a defense of the way the show ended. Martin had little or nothing to do with how the show ended.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
We don't.
do a crowd-pleasing ending that people were expecting. Have Jon sword fight the Night King. Have Jaime heroically kill Cersei. Have Dany install democracy and then fly off into the sunset with Jon.
That part's dumb. That part's
dumb.
That last part is pretty
But-
dumb, but the rest of it makes more sense.
Done. But
That's a straw man. That's a straw man.
Yeah, it is a straw man. That part is dumb, but it's not as dumb.
I'm like, it's dumb, but
Remember, keep in mind they do actually install democracy apparently because they're going to vote for the king from now on.
Yeah,
Which
but it's
is-
not democracy, it's an oligarchy, though.
Which is kind of worse, which is way worse. It's still the wheel. It's still the wheel. They have
It's
not
even more
broken the
wheelie,
wheel.
actually.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
An ending like that isn't hard to come up with. After all, that sort of fan servicey wish fulfillment is pretty much exactly what they wrote for Battle of the Bastards, and it received widespread acclaim.
I would prefer satisfying stupid over what we got, personally.
I mean, it's satisfying stupid versus unsatisfying stupid. Like,
No, you're wrong. It's unsatisfying, mentally insane.
yeah, it's like it's satisfying stupid versus unsatisfying piece of shit.
Yeah,
unsatisfying
Seriously.
insanity.
Yeah.
People, the last 2 episodes of season 6 are not well written.
Yeah.
People just liked
No, they're
watching
not.
the heroes.
I mean,
Yeah,
like the
he's
last.
correct.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
correct. It was a
Well,
shame that
the heroes don't exactly win, but people still like watching it.
it was a shame that that Game of Thrones ended at season 6. It was it's too bad we never got to see the ending of the show.
Yeah. If it had ended at season 6, I think it would have been remembered much more fondly. Like people would say, "Oh, at least it ended in a way that kind of made sense, where that's kind of satisfying. The White Walkers are permanently trapped beyond the wall. Dany's finally coming to King's Landing, and Jon is now king in the north."
That's like something like, oh, well, at least the characters literally didn't betray everything they hold dear. So that's good at least.
Yeah. The White Walkers are not going to be permanently trapped beyond the wall, but at least like you have, okay, the players are all here, and now the ending can be ambiguous.
Win. So despite everything, I respect D&D for trying.
They didn't try. They didn't try at all.
Even Drogon doesn't agree. Look how angry he is. Like, these fucking writers,
Also, like,
piece of
also
shit.
like philosophy Drogon is apparently like James Hibbert is so dumb that he thought that philosopher Drogon was a real thing.
It should have been a real thing.
And then the script just says, "Oh, it was a happy accident."
He has more soul than half the characters. Well, most of the characters.
I had to screen cap that. That was a little.
For doing a final season that took big risks. Do I think it was great? No, but it was ambitious. And to me,
It was ambitious in terms of how much money can we waste and how much hell can we put our cast through.
It's actually
how can we overwork Deborah Riley this season?
It's actually kind of funny because I was moaning at the scene that was playing in the background, and your guys were talking about the dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, should we like take bets on what he's about to say next? No, but it was ambitious, and to me, that's
I'm not
gonna
a
guess.
drinking man.
I'm guessing he's gonna say that's what matters, or something to that effect.
Let's go with that. Yeah. Let's do it.
that's more important. Now, of course, there are things I would have done differently. Characters I don't think were handled well, and valid criticisms to make. But we should
not the innocent bystander, by the way, what's happening in the background.
Consider that for everything the showrunners might have gotten wrong, there were probably a ton of things.
What? They got something wrong? Well, you're just entitled. But oh my god.
There were
I just
probably a
turned
ton of
this-
things. Is he gonna say there were a ton of things they got right? Really?
Things we had wrong too. And instead of
we had
obsessing
wrong.
over plot holes,
Oh fuck!
Instead of obsessing over plot holes.
The framing.
Also like obsessing about plot holes. The most of the season 8 is made up of plot holes and continuity errors with
Done.
its own show.
Done.
And
The
season
framing.
7.
The framing.
And season 7.
What? What's season 7?
Season 7 and 8 are basically one big screaming plot hole.
Yes, that is true.
No, done. He's talking about plot holes and he's showing the Euron scene.
The Bowmaster of King's Landing.
Oh, are we back into kind of forgot territory?
See, this is the framing I was talking about. He's saying he is wrong too, and instead of obsessing over plot holes, as he's showing Euron after the Regal scene, we're obsessing over this
when the writers themselves have no better defense than Danny kind of forgot, like they're teenagers being caught masturbating.
I kind of forgot my clothes were off. Is that what you're?
No, I was thinking they're looking at deer snuff films.
holes, maybe our energy would be better spent trying to reach a better understanding and appreciating that despite being really flawed, the ending we got was genuine, not focused.
No, it wasn't.
Genuine.
What?
What do you mean the ending was genuine? What isn't even a genuine ending? What is a disingenuous ending?
Oh, it was genuinely disappointing.
It was genuine rot.
Mm-hmm.
What would make an ending disingenuous to this guy?
Like basically like a focus group ending like Rise of Skywalker. But then again, if Rise of Skywalker is focus group, then that means that most focus groups are clearly made up of monkeys.
Yeah. Holy shit, that movie is so bad.
I love how whenever we mention Rise of Skywalker, the immediate reaction is, "Oh my gosh, that movie is awful."
My head hurts from this. I can't wait until this is over. I don't even know if I want to cover the Danny or the Jamie one.
Oh, they're so bad. They might be worse than this.
Oh. Because like I'm at the beginning of this, I'm like, all right, we're gonna do this, and now I'm like, please let it end.
Aren't you happy that you have me to recommend you bad videos?
I've seen this before long ago, but
you just forgot how bad it was.
I kind of forgot, yeah.
Grouped or test marketed, but an attempt to explore some tough questions.
There was nothing to they did not explore anything.
What explore? What question? Shut up.
They don't think about themes or narratives. Factually speaking, they just don't. They've admitted it.
This is why I say Yezin IRL is too intelligent to correctly interpret the show.
That wasn't actually a Dragon Demands quote. Like something like we try to think them as rational people when they're not.
Yeah, we try to think about this rationally when they don't.
Yeah. When kind of like when you have to like listen to what they are saying and like say and look and not take them at their word and just say, wait, you actually think this?
Like they do not care. They do not care about plot structure or anything. All they care about is getting their actors Emmy awards. So like when the whole Regal scene was done, Daenerys was just screaming. It was just a close up of her face screaming.
Yeah, because they wanted to just show off her face because they want to vicariously win Emmys through their actors. There's no deeper motivation. Yeah, there's no deeper motivation. Tough questions about
why we should forgive Game of Thrones.
Fuck you. No. Fuck no. Fuck this shit.
I will not forgive Game of Thrones. Not after reading Fire Can I Kill a Dragon. My
opinion of this show has fell drastically
has
Even
plummeted in the last 6 months. It has plummeted really hard in the last 6 months.
Yeah, we already didn't think much of it before reading the book, and now forget about it.
Yeah,
like it was already in hell, but somehow it went into like a dimension below.
It went deeper than hell.
yeah, it went to oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, dude, forgive Game of Thrones. No. Are you going to forgive Roman Polanski? Or are you going to forgive Joss Whedon? Are you going to forgive
Bryan Singer?
Bryan Singer? Yeah. Are you going to forgive Harvey Weinstein?
Are you going to forgive Bill Cosby?
Are you going to forgive Andy Dick? Same difference.
Let's see what this last minute's
Same
about.
difference. Oh, this part's really funny.
Although I can't tell anyone how to feel, I can suggest that we also
Oh,
be
the Christmas
self-critical.
music.
Though I can't necessarily tell people what ideals to live by, I do suggest.
Didn't he say that he did? There was just no reason for it. He just had music in the background.
Yeah, just to try monetizing it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. He would try to. That's because he's just like David Benioff here. There's no reason for the music. We just interpreted that there was a theme, but there was none.
And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing.
As we try to understand the ideals present in the media we can
The ideals, nothing.
consume, and then make a choice
What
whether or not to
ideals?
apply those messages in our own lives.
I will
And though
not
it's up to
apply
each of
anything
us
from
to choose
Game of
what we like
Thrones.
and what we can forgive, maybe we owe it to ourselves.
Oh, the framing.
When our favorite stories let us down.
The thing is,
watch this. Done. Stop. Watch.
Maybe we owe it to ourselves when our favorite stories let us down.
That was a good one. I'll give him that. It let us down in France falling off a tree. That's great.
Yeah.
To remember all
shut up.
of the things that made them our favorite stories in the first place.
Even the good bits of the show have been ruined by Fire Can't Kill a Dragon.
Yeah, that's season 1.
Yeah. Why is this included? I don't get it.
Is that more monetization?
Die horribly.
Well, I was just thinking the ending bit where, what was it all holding together? Our marriage and just Bobby B laughing. It's such a random little
Your
bit.
mother was a whore with a fat arse.
You know, I love Robert Baratheon. He should have survived. He should have stayed on the throne.
Westeros would have been better, even with Littlefinger embezzling money out from under him.
Yep.
Yeah, it was kind of the least bad. It got worse. It got worse after he died.
Yeah.
Although he was a Lannister puppet, which is why he died in the first place.
True. Look, the thing is, I'm okay with Tywin being king. Tywin being king would probably be the best case scenario, honestly. Nobody would have done anything because they would have been way too scared of him.
Except he would have done stuff.
Yeah, I think a good way to sort of cap this off is to continue my comment to Dragon Demands. People suffered because of the terrible production and were put through completely unreasonable shit because the showrunners had no clue what they were doing. Emilia walking around in a drunken daze for 3 hours when she found out what happened to her character. Kid having to check into rehab due to turning to alcoholism to relieve his stress due to the insane pressure placed on him. Talking about all of that is one small step closer to avoiding this kind of garbage happening again. Trying to ignore all of this and shuffle it under the rug, letting everything go unscrutinized, will not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
you got anything else?
This show was a violation of human ethics and workplace legislation. These men should be in jail, but the crew owe their jobs to him, so they didn't sue him as they rightfully deserved, as they rightfully should have. I don't know how much good it would have done, since David Benioff's dad is literally Daddy Warbucks. Basically has more money than Trump. At least I think he has more money than Trump.
Yep.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs was pretty influenced back in the day too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna sign off here.
Alrighty.
See you guys later. Stay single.
Have a riot.
Damn. No, I have
Yeah.
parts next.
Well, I do have.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I do have one thing that I want to show you guys on a couple of things on Monday. One is the rap battle between George R. R. Martin and J.R.R. Tolkien. And
So
anyway, see you guys
they're-
later.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Night.
Yeah. Well,
So I'm gonna probably cap off the stream if we have anything else to say.
I don't. I'm just excited for them to BS their way through the other endings on Monday.
Oh god. Oh god. Help us.
And then James Hibbert taking pot shots at fans ends in the final chapter.
We're already dead. We're dead. Oh, God.
So I guess we'll call it good here today. I hope you enjoy my suffering through this.
We all do. Yes.
And we'll hopefully see you next time. At this time in a more timely manner, not like a whole month since
Yes,
the last
we
time
should-
we did a stream.
Yeah, let's do this on a weekly basis. I'd be down to do this every Saturday.
All right. So we'll see you guys later. Fighting Nihilus. Check you out later. Bye
Tolkien is
bye.
better than Martin. Yeah, Rowling is terrible. Yeah, Rowling is really bad.
Flawed.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Have a riot.
Mm-hmm.